You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, guys? Doing a little reaction Thursday. Talking about this game, this Thursday night football battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's be honest, the Pittsburgh Steelers just didn't look potent at all. Didn't look like they're going to move the football down the field on a consistent level at all this year. Maybe that changes when Pickett gets in there. But let's take a look at this these game stats for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive players. And Mitch Trubisky just looks stagnant out there. I don't know what to expect. I think moving forward, you just gotta, like, Najee had 15 carries. It was a decent volume. He almost had a second touchdown, but he didn't. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. We could play that game all day long with players, that they could have had this, they could have had that. Bottom line is the offense is very limiting. It limits Najee's potential output. And even though his foot didn't appear to bother him as much as maybe even I expected, it's still a combination of risk and avoid, at some levels. I mean, he had 56 yards is 5.6 points. Add in the touchdown, that's 11.6 points. And then you give him 3 receptions. 12, 13, 14, right around 15, 16 points potentially, depending on your league. No, about 14 or 15 points depending on your scoring. Not a horrible game, but it's certainly not what your first rounder should be cranking out. Like, this is probably one of his best games, right? That you could have probably imagined, getting a touchdown, getting 15 carries, but he's averaging 3.7 yards. Jalen Warren, now granted, change of pace work is different because, you know, you have a different scheme. The defense is expecting sometimes a pass, and so you slip through different, you know, rushing lanes that wouldn't be open if Najee was in there, and the defense was keying on Najee, but he had 4 carries for 30 yards, 7.5 a pop. I believe he had a big play call back too, but Jalen Warren looked really good and smooth. I couldn't tell that Harris was limited. He was making leaps over players and looking really strong. I couldn't tell that he was limited by the foot, which is a really good sign, but at the same time, it's still something that bothers me because I feel like, A, we're not getting told the truth. If he did, in fact, have a Liz Frank injury and his foot was bent back, why is he not 13.1? Because he fumbled. Good call, Austin. Depending on your fumble points, he had a fumble that could have brought you down a few, depending on your stats and your scoring, but I mean, he's a sell. Like, we did this sell video. Where is that? Where is that? I think I had it right here. We did the buy low sell video before the game, during the 7 p.m. show, and Najee was on both the buy and the sell. The buy in creative form, and this still, I think, continues walking into week number 4, because Najee Harris he's walking out of yet another disappointing affair. So you can potentially buy him low. This is now 3 weeks in a row. 3 games is, in most fantasy football minds, becoming a pattern that feels like it's going to continue, right? Even if you feel like maybe it won't, a lot of people do. And you could maybe take a stab at getting Najee very, very cheap, to the point where you could either flip him for something better because you can shop them better, you can be a better salesman, or you just hope that things turn around. Pickett gets in there, the offense looks different. Ron Navy and I were talking, like, as soon as Pickett gets in, we might have a different viewpoint over this situation. That Pickens catch was crazy, Blackbeard. That was absolutely insane. One of the best catches I've seen in a very long time. I can't wait for Pickens to get Pickett in there throwing footballs to him, so he doesn't have to catch it like that. He can catch it and keep running with it, or catch it in the end zone. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Najee right now. It's weird because it's like we got a little bit of good news that he didn't look very hampered. He was making athletic plays that he probably wouldn't be making if his foot was bothering him. But the offense looks so bad. The opportunities look so bad. The yards per carry is awful. He's averaging 3 point, what did I say? 3 point, let's see, I'll put it back on screen. 3 point, that's Cleveland. Put Cleveland right here. 3.7? 3.7 yards per carry. I mean, that's really bad. It's just, there's just no blocking. You know, Deontay, 8 catches for 84 yards. Look at that. Deontay had a day, and he didn't have a touchdown. Only 10.5 yards per catch because Trubisky can't, move the football down the field effectively. Freiermuth doing the best he can with 2 catches. Give me 41 yards and 2 catches all day long if that's what we're looking at. George Pickens, he's going to develop. Najee, 3 catches for 5 yards. That is awful. This is what the offense is in Pittsburgh right now until Pickett gets in there. Now, if Pickett gets in there, will it change much? I don't know. I mean, I would think it's got to be better. I like Pickett. I think Pickett maybe gets some excitement, a spark, a different play calling, more aggressive play calling, maybe. Maybe not. We don't know. Tomlin not putting Pickett in there makes me question Tomlin enough to know, to think, okay, if Pickett gets in there, will he limit Pickett? I don't know. Here's the the Cleveland Browns side of the football. A lot more scoring and fantasy goodness going on this side of the fence. You got Brissett, 220 and 2. Had a pretty good day. Pretty good day, in fact. I think he looked pretty decent. And Chubb running at 4.9 a pop, 23 carries for 113 yards, 1 TD. Still a sell high candidate for me because it doesn't matter how good you're playing. Playing good only opens the door to a conversation where you could potentially get a player or two that you shouldn't normally get because the buying low season's in full effect and the selling high of Nick Chubb. If anybody thinks Nick Chubb's going to continue to do this all year long, that's fine. I don't argue with you. You can definitely believe that. I feel like Chubb's going to still play well. I just think that he's been really efficient, and that's on him. I'm not taking that away from him, but I just feel like with Kareem Hunt getting 12 carries, I know they run enough, but Kareem Hunt getting 12 carries, coming in for the some of the goal line work. They did put Chubb in at a goal line for his goal line touchdown because Hunt was unsuccessful multiple times in a row, so they brought in Chubb. So that was good if you're a Chubb owner to see that Hunt struggled, but I don't think that's going to take away any future attempts of getting Hunt in there. A lot of times, Nick Chubb will grind out the yardage between the 20s and get tired, and then they put Hunt in after Nick Chubb rips it off down to about the 15-yard line. Then they, okay, take a breather, Hunt comes in, and it gives me pause to expect top 1 to 2, 1 to 3 running back numbers on the year from this point moving forward. Maybe he still finishes like 2 or 3 overall because he's got a little bit of a lead, but you can't take those points with you in a trade. Like if you trade away Chubb for, let's just say, Eckler, and you're able to get Kyle Pitts for your mediocre tight end. So you essentially step from Nick Chubb down into an Eckler, downgrade into an Eckler, which may or may not be a downgrade from this point moving forward. It is, obviously, if you include previous stats, but from this point moving forward, you downgrade from Nick Chubb into Eckler, and now you get into a Kyle Pitts for a really much lower ranked tight end. That's how you trade. That's how you trade. You buy low, sell high. Doesn't mean you don't believe in Nick Chubb. Doesn't mean you're being reckless with Nick Chubb. It means you are seeing ahead of the curve, trying to determine what you can best sell low or best sell high and buy low. Amari Cooper looked pretty good, 7 for 101 and a touchdown. We had a few Amari Cooper questions. I apologize if I did not answer Amari Cooper when you asked me who you should start. I mean, he looked good. He had 11 targets. He seems to be that guy that when you don't play him, he goes crazy. Once you fully buy into it, the dude doesn't show up. I don't know. Let's see here. Looking at the questions, I'll get to these super chats here. I'll answer all of them. I promise you, the ones that I see, and tell me if I miss anything. I'll go back. I don't think I missed any last show. I went one at a time versus trying to drag them on all at once. So I think that worked well. And Njoku, 9 catches for 89 yards, 1 TD. He had 10 targets as double-digit targets as well. And Njoku will be a hot waiver wire add, but I don't know that I believe in him. You know, I don't know that I trust him. He's had so many years to try and. I don't call him a bust. I'm not saying like don't go get him. He'll be pretty decently high ranked on my week 4 waiver wire episode, but I don't know that I'm like running to grab him. I don't think he's cracking my top 2 or 3 overall. I don't see consistency. He's been able to prove he could do this for years, and we haven't seen it. So I don't know. Hunt almost had a TD. Almost isn't good enough. 3 catches for 14 yards. This is why Hunt's going to be volatile for you, because if he doesn't capitalize perfectly, he doesn't have that big game. And that kind of worries me about Nick Chubb. Like Nick Chubb had 0 catches for 0 yards, 1 target. If Nick Chubb isn't on his game, ultra efficient, averaging the 4.9 a pop, breaking free on the long run of 36 yards, he doesn't have this day. Nick Chubb's been playing perfect football, and that's why I'm on the sell high train on Nick Chubb. Just because if things don't go perfect, there's too many external factors taking away his opportunities to where if he's not perfect, he doesn't have these stats. So that's why I trade Nick Chubb on the high. Doesn't mean I think he's a bust. I think he can continue to play perfect football here and there. But like if you look back at week 1, I think it was. Nick Chubb, let me pull up Nick Chubb's numbers. Nick Chubb in week number 1, let me pull up his game log. It was 22 carries for 141 yards, 0 INTs. Like, he was ripping them off. 22 carries is good. If you get 22 carries times 4.5 yards a pop, that's 100 yards. That's 99 yards. So 22 carries, 5 yards per carry, 100 yards, but that's all he had. You know, he had 1 reception for 2 yards. So if he wasn't ultra efficient, if he got bottled up a little more than normal, if the Browns offense didn't do right, good play calling, Nick Chubb doesn't have that 141-yard game. Let me put that on screen just so we can go over Nick Chubb's stats. Because it's not that I'm saying he's a bust, not that I'm saying he can't do well. I just think people need to understand that Nick Chubb is playing perfect football. And that's going to account for why he's doing so well. And you can't always expect perfect football. His situation can't afford him not to play perfect football. So Nick Chubb, week 1, 22 rushes, 141, 6.4 a pop. If he was getting 4.5 yards per carry, which is probably normal, normal amount of yards per carry, 4.5 to 4.7, he'd be at right around 100 yards. No receiving stats. Week 2, 17 carries for 87 yards, 3 TDs. That was phenomenal. That game was unbelievable. 23 attempts for 113 yards, 1 TD. Again, no receiving stats. So in PPR, it's just he has to play perfect football. And he could continue to do it. So continue to expect that. Don't sell low. A lot of people are going to take what I'm saying wrong because they don't know how to listen. Nick Chubb's phenomenal. Nick Chubb is the best running back in football right now. Entering week number 4. Question is, what does he do moving forward? And it's now a good time to trade him, expecting maybe 5 to 6 to 7 or 4 to 6 to 7. You know what I mean? Like, expecting Nick Chubb to be number 4 or number 5 going forward, not including any of the stats we've had, accumulate already, is that crazy? Is it crazy to say, that he's going to be 5 or 6? No, it's not. It's not at all. Cliff says, what running back doesn't have to be perfect? Not perfect was 6 points last week. Cliff, my point is without any reception work at all, without any PPR work at all, that makes it hard for a non-PPR running back in a PPR world to survive and hang as the number 1 overall running back. That's my point. So right here, the stats right in front of your face. If he doesn't have things go perfectly for him, and the offense is one of those offenses where, you do wonder what you're going to get. Brissett played pretty well tonight. They did exploit the Steelers on the ground, but Nick Chubb just doesn't get any PPR work. He did get 3 catches for 26 yards in week 2. That was nice. Those 3 TDs were phenomenal in week number 2. That just vaulted him up above everybody. But it is what it is. Some of you guys are dropping foul language on. I know you're just talking about your teams, but everything gets held. Like Jose, can't say that. Don't say that, Jose. Come on, guys. I know it's late. This is a graveyard crew, but we can't be dropping that foul language in here, even if you're trying to say it in a supportive way. So Nick Chubb had a big day. Mark Cooper, big day, and Njoku, big day. It was an okay game. It was kind of I would say like a snoozer to some degree. This is your buy low, sell high list. We go over it in extreme detail on the video before this. The Thursday night, Monday through Friday show, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go watch it. Check it out. Go check it out. The best time to have traded Chubb was before tonight's game. Not true. He had a good game. Green vibe. He had a good game. After tonight's game is the best time because he's done it 3 weeks in a row. And I don't trade him low. A lot of people are going to come in here or they're going to watch the replay and they're literally going to not hear anything that I just said and say, this guy doesn't like Nick Chubb. And that's still not what I'm saying at all. Not what I'm saying whatsoever. You can't sell him high. You don't sell him at all. Like, that's what you need to hear. That should be what you hear. All right, let's get to some of these super chats, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. Hit that thumb up button on your way in the door. Only 44 thumbs up. We got 166 of you, filing in right now. And only 44 thumbs up. Punch that button. Thank you, Scotty Dew, for being first in the building. Engage was second. Jose was third. G Money was fourth. Fane, followed by Matt and Dawson and Frake and KCM and East Coast Tatty and so on. Slim and all of you guys. Appreciate you coming in here. Graveyard crew in full effect. Let's drop these super chats on screen and answer them and get you going. Ron Navy in the building. He says, Graveyard gang in the house. Appreciate you, Ron. Where's our graveyard button? Let's get that up here. We haven't hit this in a while.
Graveyard Crew.
All right. Super chat number 1 comes from, let's see here, Master. Master says, trade Andrews for Waddle. Whoops. Trade Andrews for Waddle and Freiermuth. The premium. Freiermuth, the premium? Is that his nickname or something? What's going on there? Andrews and Waddle, or Andrews for Waddle and Freiermuth. I just don't trust Freiermuth right now. Like, I like Freiermuth, but let me pull the stats back on screen. But, I mean, this is what we're getting, 2 for 41. It's just not an offense. He's not moving the needle at all. So it's like you're really asking Freiermuth versus could you pick up an Everett off waivers that can compete with Freiermuth right now until Pickett gets in there? Yeah, you could. So basically, I'm not saying Freiermuth is garbage or that he's not if you have no tight end, that he's not an upgrade. I get it. Context matters for your team. But I'd say in general, in a vacuum here, as much as I love Waddle, I think Andrews holds more value on that side of the trade. But obviously everything matters, in context of what you got in general. But I think that's going to speak to this pretty accurately, no matter what you tell me your roster is. Pacheco, I traded A.J. Dillon plus Goddard for Mixon. I like Mixon. That's a pretty good trade, bro. That is a pretty good trade. I buy low on Mixon. Is Chubb Smitty's guy? Apparently that. I'm sure you're joking because you're thinking I'm negative on him. I'm not negative on him. Chubb's amazing. Like, Chubb could do really well next week, and someone's going to come in and go, see? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying trade him if you can for a really good deal, or you don't trade him at all. Smitty, you're awesome. Thank you. Best content on YouTube. Scotty Dew, appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping in with a super chat. You're the man. You're the myth. The legend. Bateman, Pollard, or Metcalf. Give me Bateman. Then Pollard. Pollard, if you're feeling a little frisky, you could go him and hope he has a huge game. But Bateman is pretty safe. Trade Dalvin for Dillon and Lamb. God, if it was just a different wide receiver like A.J. Brown or something, then I'm all in. Like Dillon and A.J. Brown. Lamb just concerns me, and it's like, I like Dillon, but he's sharing carries, and he could do really well sharing carries. But Lamb feels like he's a wide receiver sharing, volume, kind of like a Kareem Hunt or a Dillon feel. I feel the same way without Dak. I feel Lamb has that kind of like drag, even though it's different drag. It's not running wide receiver by committee, but it's like that has that kind of impact to lose Dak. So I don't know, bro. Kyle leaving a rock out, leaving a super or a voice message.
Yeah. He be going so fast like a Maserati. This is how we do this. He be proving to the world. Just give him the ball. He will make miracles happen now. This is how we coming out. He's coming prime time. Just give him in this crunch time. He'll make it happen. He been make it happen. Just don't overthink it. He be going, man, yeah, he's good for it.
Thank you, Rock Out. Appreciate you, that pep talk for Najee Harris. So no on this trade, Dalvin. It's not that I don't try and trade Dalvin. I don't know if that's the right trade for me. Anyway, Vamp dropping a super. Vamp, thank you. I'll get to you in 1 second. 12-team PPR team is Burrow, Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Swift, Monty, Kelsey, Jacobs, JK, B-Rob, okay, lock it. Should I offer Monty and Myers for Devonta Smith for Javonte? Of course. I mean, Myers and Devonta are just like, when you get like a sandwich and they put that little piece of lettuce in there and then they close the box and you open it up and it just fills the box up more. It's just a piece of lettuce on the side. It's not even the lettuce you can really even eat. It's like the accent, like almost like just a work of art just sitting in there. I mean, that's what you're doing here with Myers and Devonta Smith. Until Devonta Smith bounces back, he is lettuce, inside a sandwich box. And the same thing for Myers. So you're essentially asking this individual, well, you take my Monty for Javonte. Maybe they do it. I would offer it. I'm not going to hold you back from making the offer because we have people that come in here and say, look what I got all the time, and it's this ridiculous. But Fane, drop it. Try and do it. See if you can open up negotiations, and then you got to add to it. I would throw Jacobs in. Give him Jacobs and Monty. Give him J.K. Dobbins and Myers. Give him J.K. Dobbins and Monty for Javonte. I throw in Jacobs or J.K. for free on top of what you're offering here. That's how much I don't think that offer is going to land it, but you might as well try. And I appreciate your super chat, of course, my good buddy, Fane. Fane is amazing. Appreciate you, Fane. Fane to the moon. Let's give Fane a moon shot, please. Let's go.
To the moon.
Fane is the man. Next super chat is from AB. AB says, Devontae, Mike Williams, Tua for Allen, Deontay Hopkins. Devontae, Mike Williams, and Tua. Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, and Tua for Josh Allen, Deontay Johnson, and Hopkins. I'm assuming one QB. If it's super flex, it changes everything. If it's super flex, it's the Allen side by a mile, just so you know. But I would say my Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, and Tua is better than this bottom in a 1 QB because Hopkins is out. I know he's closer and closer to coming back, but he's still out. You got 4 games here, essentially, until he comes back. And Deontay's he's pedestrian in this offense. So you're talking about Josh Allen versus Tua, Mike Williams, and Devontae. If this is a 1 QB league, I'm going to say on the Devontae side, and it looks like you're giving up Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, Tua for Allen and Deontay. I'm going to say no.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
And of course, you're not disapproved, AB, but I don't want the Allen side in a 1 QB league. If it's a super flex, I change my mind because Allen's the number 1 overall pick, and that changes things. Fane, appreciate you, Fane. G Money dropping a $5 holler. Hey, Smitty, you talk about flipping CeeDee Lamb. Who should I trade for? I love my flip of the day for CeeDee Lamb is Higgins. I love Breece Hall and something. I love Kenneth Walker and something. I love A.J. Dillon and something. I believe CeeDee Lamb can get you something and one of those players. I love Dameon Pierce and something. Like DK and Dameon Pierce for CeeDee Lamb. I probably take that. I know a lot of people might not, but I'm still a believer DK can come back and be as good as CD. Like, I don't think it's a lock, and I'm certainly buying below that, Arjun Pal, or however you say your name, keep it clean, bro. We've seen you drop a few strange messages so far. So keep it clean, bro. Those are where I start, G-Money. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Amir, trade Javonte for Mark Andrews. I have TJ Hawkinson and Higbee. So trade Javonte for Andrews. I mean, I draft Javonte ahead of Andrews every single time. And the fact that you already have TJ Hawkinson and Higbee, why on earth would you want to trade Javonte away for another tight end? Hawkinson's good enough. I would trade TJ Hawkinson or Higbee with a different player, like a bench player for Kyle Pitts. Keep Javonte. Don't trade Javonte.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
My graveyard people, leave me a message, please. And we'll get to the graveyard chat. Let me play a graveyard message while we're in between these so you guys can get a little bit of variety here on the show. Graveyard messages, let's see here. Let me see if I can play these here. I want to say, oh, maybe they were in voicemail group 1 that I said leave a message earlier today. And I didn't get to them. Jim.
Hey, Smitty, are we buying or are we selling Elijah Moore? I really, really liked him last year. He had a nice stretch of games there, and I was really high on him coming into this year. But obviously, he's had a slow start. He has 12 targets in the first 2 games, which seems decent. But Flacco's thrown 103 passes already, and only 12 have gone to Elijah Moore. It looks like Zach Wilson's going to be coming back soon, so a quarterback change. Garrett Wilson just completely broke out last week. So what are we doing with Elijah Moore? We buying, we selling?
I don't think you can sell him, Jim. I don't think anybody's, buying Elijah Moore right now. So it's like, do you bench him or cut him? And I say bench him unless, you're deciding between Garrett Wilson or, a potential running back opportunity you have to take, like Jordan Mason, just in hopes that goes a certain way, or let's say somebody drops like a Kenneth Walker, and we've seen that before, or Mooney gets dropped. I'd rather have Mooney. But Garrett Wilson's not, or Elijah Moore's not somebody I'm cutting, but you can't trade him. No.
Another player I'm trying to figure out if I want to buy or sell is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Again, I love the talent and the offense that he's in, but he's currently not getting a ton of work. He's averaging like 7 or 8 carries a game and 3 or 4 targets a game, but he's obviously making great use out of that, and he's currently an RB5 or 6 on the year, depending on your league. So do you see more work coming for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and do you see him as a buy or a sell?
So he's one of those guys that falls into both categories, similar to Najee. And I think if we pull up Clyde Edwards-Helaire's game log, let's see here if I can get his receiving work in the screenshot here, and I'll pull it on screen and we'll look at it and examine Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It is a worry, that he has to be ultra efficient. This was what I was talking about with Nick Chubb, is things have to go perfect for him, because Nick Chubb has no PPR work and he's got to have a perfect day on the ground, and he's been doing that. So, good on him. But 7 rushes, 8 rushes for Clyde. He's averaging 6 and 9.3 yards per carry on both of those in both those weeks. His yards per carry on the year is 7.7. 116 yards rushing. Not horrible through 2 games, considering he's like a 35-yard and about 3.5 catches per game kind of guy. So you're talking about 6 to 7 points receiving PPR work, about 6 to 7 total points. 2 TDs, you can't count on that all the time, but like, let's just say he gets 1 TD every 2 games. So that's like, let's call that 3. So you're talking about 9 points a week on average he's set up for using his PPR work and his total touchdowns alone. That's pretty good. He's like safe 9 points. If he got no rushing at all, he should be a safe 9 points in PPR. 3 to 4 catches, 30 to 40 yards, probably 1 TD, total TDs every game. Every other game he'll score, essentially. So 0.5 TDs per game. So 0.5 TDs per game, 3.5 catches, 35 yards, very solid floor. And then you factor in, maybe he gets more than 10 rushes, coming up here. Maybe they're just easing, that run back into the game plan, but they do rotate a little bit, right? So they use him as the PPR guy, but that's great. He's in there on PPR downs, on the reception, the third downs, which means that they trust him more than anybody. So that's very good positioning to be in, and this offense is extremely complicated. There's no way Pacheco even is coming close to knowing it, knowing the playbook, knowing the system. It is extremely complicated. So Clyde is the guy they trust. If Clyde stays healthy, he's guaranteed to be active, like you're seeing right here. So I like him a lot. Do I sell him? Depends what you can get for him. I have a feeling people don't respect him to the tune that I'm talking, and he's probably not a great sell high candidate. But if you couple him with a London or Curtis Samuel, could you go after some kind of high value player that you shouldn't even be able to even explore right now? And the answer is you probably could. Or could you trade Clyde for Kyle Pitts straight up if you want to go cross position and give someone an RB and they're struggling? I'd be okay with that, because even if Clyde continued, I'm okay with my side of the trade. I had somebody in a comment on my Najee Harris, on one of my most recent posts on Instagram say, like, sad face, looks like Najee isn't dead. And it's like, what do you mean? Najee didn't have a great game. He had an okay game. He had a 13-point game, and he didn't look like he was going to get fed the way you want him to get fed, and that could continue all year. So, like, his situation is not good right now, and you have the potential foot issue that could come back. Maybe it doesn't. But it's like, I said to him, I'm like, you either didn't make the trade that I told you to make, which is a trade that you love, even if Najee bounces back and becomes a top 5 running back, then you didn't listen. Because I said it 1,000 times. I can't be any more clear. And when I talk about the buy low, sell high list right here, I can't be any more clear than when I say, if you sell Nick Chubb, if you sell Najee, if you sell somebody that has high value and you don't love the trade, even if they continue and you're wrong in predicting their decline or drop in stats, you did not make a good trade. And nobody to blame but yourself if you're going out there making trades, knee-jerk reacting trades based off me saying sell, and then you go sell for garbage. I can't be held accountable for that. I'm here to help you. I'll try and work you back into the light, bro. But I love it when people come to me and say, shouldn't have traded Najee. Now look, what do you mean? What did you get for him? Because the only thing I told you to do is make a deal only if you love your side of the trade, no matter what happens to Najee. If Najee blows up, you still break even because you made a good trade. And you don't care. You're happy for the owner that got Najee. You're like, hey, bro fist, we both made a good trade. I got awesome value. I bought low. You gave up on this guy. I gave up on Najee. Najee did good. Your guys did good. We walk away completely happy. But if Najee doesn't bounce back, you win the deal and you win by a landslide. That's how you trade. That's how you trade. I just don't understand. I don't understand. So the same thing with CEH. I sell him if the price is right. I go get a Kyle Pitts who I'm extremely happy about. Even if Clyde continues on the course of doing this kind of damage, Jim, you're fine. Continue on. Kyle Pitts is good enough for a Clyde that's continuing to go on at this rate. So that's how you buy low and sell high. That's the only way you buy low and sell high. Amir, Javonte for Andrews. Again, no. I have a feeling Amir had this backwards, but the way you said it, but Javonte side by a mile. Vamp with the super chat. Vamp says best stack right now, Hurts and AJ Brown, Cousins, and Slay. That's Cousins Slay is probably the most dangerous duo in football. But no, Diggs and Josh Allen are the number one to answer the question honestly and seriously. And you know, Burrow and Chase are going to make a comeback. I have faith in the duo. I think it's going to be a phenomenal duo. But I do love AJ Brown and Hurts. The only thing with Hurts is he can kind of bounce around. And I think AJ Brown, I just hope he stays healthy. But I love the stack. Love the stack. COD dropped a super. Let's see, COD. Here's COD's question. I traded Devontae Adams for Saquon and Michael Thomas. I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with trading Adams for Saquon and Mike Thomas. That's a great trade. Your team, you know, could use the dilution of one player into two. And what it does, COD, when you do a trade like that, when you trade a player where you can arguably say, and I don't think Mike Thomas is going to come close to Adams. So understand the context of how I'm putting this. Whenever you can say it's possible, humanly possible, that both players you're getting could compete with the player you gave up. Humanly possible. Mike Thomas could, in a perfect world, at least hang with him within a small amount with Adams. Saquon could not only just hang with Adams, he could outscore him, go forward. So you made a trade that I draw up on the marker board where you're potentially getting two players you love quietly near the player you're giving up. And I draft Adams over Mike Thomas. I don't even love Mike Thomas, but this is a great trade. This is how you trade. This is how you trade one stud into two. You don't do it any other way. This is the kind of trade, let me put it back up on screen. This is the kind of trade that I try and get people to make, and then they come back and say, I shouldn't have traded Najee. You should have traded Najee for two players that could have been as good as Najee individually, or you didn't make the right deal. You go after Debo and Dylan. Debo could be as good as Najee or better. Dylan, in theory, could be as good as Najee 1 for 1. That's how you trade Najee. If you didn't trade Najee that way, and you saw my video where I said sell high, you didn't listen. I'm here for you. We can self-correct this, or I can help you self-correct this situation, but that's how you trade. That's how you trade. It's an amazing trade. This guy did a great job, COD. Nice job, COD. COD to the moon.
To the moon.
This question from Alex. Why did you make me trade Connor for St. Brown? Why did you make me trade Connor for St. Brown? Because I wanted you to win, Alex. I'm glad I'm assuming you're joking and celebrating, but congratulations on this move. I don't even remember this question, but what an amazing trade. Let's give you a standing ovation for pulling off a trade that apparently, I don't remember telling you this, but you made awesome, and it maybe won you the league. This man traded Connor, who I didn't want at all. I didn't want Connor at all. People are drafting this guy in the 4th round. I had no interest in Connor even in the 5th round. We were pumping up the St. Brown machine, and apparently Alex, he benefited greatly from that advice. Alex.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Attaboy, Alex. Got my Tua glasses right here. Tua, until further notice, we are wearing the Tua goggles, and we're not going to take them off because he looks pretty good. And you know what? Tua looks good without the glasses right now, to be frank. 230 of you in here, only 80 thumbs up. Alex, congratulations on that trade. I'm glad I told you to trade Connor for St. Brown. From what it do, my high point of view, he asks, Pierce at Chicago, running back 2. I think Pierce is going to have quite a day. In fact, let's put up the matchups on screen. We can put them right here. And we can move these around, and let's go to the Chicago matchup here. There we go. So Houston at Chicago. Yeah, I'm going to say Pierce is a running back 2 in this game. I'm going to say Pierce is a running back 2. I thank you for your super chat, and I'm starting Pierce in pretty much every league I own him in, because I put him in a position to be my starter. Hit that thumb up, says Dan. Dan, appreciate your super chat. If you got a question, I will look for your next comment. This one's from Maitland. 12-team PPR, 1 QB, Stafford, Cousins, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, ETN, Michael Carter, Diggs, Higgins, Sutton, Bateman, and Pat Freiermuth. Sell Aaron Jones high. Yeah, because your team, no offense on this, your team needs something. You probably can't. You could win, I suppose, but you know what would be good for this team? If you traded Aaron Jones on the high for, let's say you get Eckler and, I don't know, let's just say they had Pitts. If you could get Eckler and Pitts for Freiermuth and AJ and Aaron Jones, you'd be winning. I'd throw in a Michael Carter. Don't trade Diggs. Don't trade Higgins. Don't trade Sutton. I'd trade Sutton or Bateman, I guess. Keep one of them. I'd trade Sutton or Bateman for Kyle Pitts as well. Like in a straight up trade. Sutton or Bateman for Kyle Pitts. I think you can afford to get rid of one of those wide receivers and put the other one in your flex. Aaron Jones, I'm going after Eckler. I get frisky and go after CMC in this type of situation potentially. And I'm only buying CMC after draft day. I'm not drafting him high. And I think that's a good opportunity for you to potentially those are some directions I would take this. Javonte, go trade Aaron Jones for Javonte, and maybe you upgrade Higgins, or maybe upgrade Higgins into Chase doing that trade or something. Or maybe you get Kyle Pitts for Freiermuth in your Javonte downgrade from Aaron Jones, who I don't think is necessarily higher than Javonte, but you could play the victim of that. I'm getting a downgrade. Who you giving me? So, yeah, good team. You just need one move, and you have plenty of firepower to make that one move. Moore, Garrett Wilson, Myers, Zeke pick 2. Garrett Wilson and I guess Zeke for now. I don't know. Myers might be safer, but I don't know that I love that second option all that much at all. And let's see here. Next super chat from Parker. Trade away J-Rob. I'm already going to say yes before I even read the rest of the question. Trade away J-Rob and Gabe Davis for Lamb and Javonte. The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's a great trade. It's amazing. Some of you get some of the most amazing trades. I'm envious, but we're here to help you, and you can definitely pull this off. And nice work. Okay. Next super chat is Michael Payne, Corey Davis, Ayuk, Breece Hall. I need a flex. Give me Breece, man. I'm rolling the dice with Breece Hall. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Andrew says Cordero Patterson or Curtis Samuel or Mike Williams for flex. I'm going Mike Williams. That's an easy call. Anything can happen, but that's a pretty easy one. I do Debo and DK for Chase and Godwin. It's pretty even. I mean, DK I still like a lot, so I think most people don't. I'll probably take the Chase side. Give me the firepower, and I have a little faith that I could trade Godwin for a similar option of DK. Like I don't know. There's plenty of options. I think I could do better with trading Godwin than worrying about not having Chase in that deal. It was the other way around. I got Connor in return. Okay. I didn't tell you to trade St. Brown for Connor, Alex. So, because I was so out on Connor, I didn't tell you to do that. There's no way I told you to trade St. Brown for Connor. I've been pumping up St. Brown from the beginning of the early offseason. So St. Brown is one of my favorite players. Connor, I was a complete avoid on. So I did not tell you to do that. Appreciate your super chat, though. Smitty, who is in? You know what happened? You know what probably happened? I bet you this is what happened, Alex. You're saying it backwards, and that's what a lot of people do. You probably said something like, trade Connor for St. Brown is probably what your chat said. I bet you money that's what you did, because you already did it backwards on your first super chat. Sometimes people say it the reverse. And that's usually why I always don't talk about yes or no. I say the player, because people get it mixed up all the time. But anybody watching knows 1,000% I would never tell you to trade for Connor using St. Brown. St. Brown is the light of the show, bro. So I don't know if you worded it like you did on your first super chat, but I would never, ever have told you to trade St. Brown for Connor. Unless you came in and said something like, I'm trying to think of even a scenario where like, I need to do this. I have no running backs. And I'm like, oh, God, bro, get something else. But I don't know. Like I could have said something like that, but there's no way. Smitty, who is Pickens a comparable talent to? I don't know. That's a good question. I'll leave Ron Navy for that comparison. I'll put this in the corner. Ron Navy, who's a comparison to Pickens value-wise? St. Brown's going to the moon. Let's just put it that way. That guy lives on the moon. That guy's going to be mayor of the moon. Scotty Dew, Dylan Hall, or Robinson in my flex? Dylan Hall or Robinson? Dylan for now, broski. Dylan for now. St. Brown is a moon man. David says, Yo, Smitty just closed that case. What case are we talking about? I already forget what we're talking about, broski. Trying to type and eat a Klondike. Abreu with a super chat. Appreciate it, Abreu. 10-team PPR: Hurts, Jefferson, St. Brown, Javonte, AJ Dillon, Kelsey, McLaurin, Jamar. Oh, Chase Edmonds. I was going to say Jamar Chase on the bench. What? Okay, suggestions. Jefferson and St. Brown and Javonte and AJ Dillon and Hurts is phenomenal. The only thing I've been saying trade Chase Edmonds for weeks, and now he's got almost no value. But you could have got a lot for him if you coupled him with something. I don't know that you have a lot of bench talent to trade. Not saying that you should, because you've stacked clearly advantageously with this team. I mean, I try and get rid of Chase Edmonds and Ayuk for a Dameon Pierce. Buy low. Dameon Pierce is really cheap. Trade Chase Edmonds for Mooney straight up, or for DK straight up. Those are real good targets for Chase Edmonds and Ayuk. Chase Edmonds and Ayuk for Dameon Pierce. Thank me later. That's a good one. Amir, 8-man. Russ, Swift, Mixon, Jefferson, Higgins, Javonte, Hawkinson, Higbee. Have Hollywood on the bench. Any trades, or am I chilling? Mixon, Jefferson, Swift, Higgins. I think I'm chilling with this team, other than trying to get Hawkinson into Kyle Pitts. I would use Hollywood. I would use anything else on your bench. I mean, you didn't give me many options to work with, but I like everything you're showing me here. So the only thing I don't love is the tight end spot. I would give up Hawkinson and Higbee for Pitts, or because somebody might take that, like worried about the tight end position, or you trade one of them, his choice, dealer's choice, and something on the bench like a Curtis Samuel or whatever you got on the bench that has good value, Jeff Wilson, and go get Kyle Pitts. Then your team is just on a whole nother level. Yeah, Amon-Ra is definitely a terror. Yo Smitty, after outstanding performance from Christian Kirk week 2, start him over Gabe Davis week 3. I wouldn't, but I could understand why you would. I think Gabe Davis, we all thought it. I mean, he was being vaulted as this wide receiver, low-end wide receiver 1 coming out of week 1, and he misses one game and everybody's putting him back on the low-end wide receiver 2 or 3 map. Start, cut, sit. The answer is always Miss Smitty, Zach. I don't play those games, but I appreciate your super chat. Trade AJ for Javonte. Yes, go get Javonte. Alex Cruz, the number 1 and first patient 0 in the YouTube exclusive membership group. He is patient number 1. Scotty Dew says Garrett Wilson, Lamb, or Cooks in the flex. Probably Lamb for right now, but definitely am interested in upgrading Lamb somehow. Corey Davis, Robbie Anderson, Nelson Aguilar. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Robbie Anderson, I suppose. Fournette, Curtis Samuel for Javonte Cooks. I would take Javonte straight up for Fournette and Curtis Samuel if that emphasizes how much I like the Javonte side. Go do that, Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
David says Smitty ain't for the games. I'm already yelling meatloaf and you get the meatloaf. Where is it at? You think I'm going to get into some other boat where I'm going to get myself in trouble? You out of your mind? Why did you make me trade Connor for St. Brown? I forgot. I really want to know what Alex is talking about. Everyone watching knows that I would never say that. I just had to put that on screen again. I would never do that. I would never do that. Ever do that. If you're saying you really traded St. Brown, I don't know what to tell you, because I would never have told you to do that. Everyone here knows that. Full PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Swift, Pierce, DK, DJ Moore, Juju, Gabe Davis, Garrett Wilson, Pitts. How would you optimize? Love the show. Well, the show loves you, Efren. And I would say, Swift and Pierce I like a lot. DK. DJ Moore. You got a lot of work to do, honestly. I like the core of the team, but there's not a lot of depth in there. It's missing a thing or two. It's missing a thing or two, bro. And I don't know what to tell you to do because it feels like, did someone get hurt? You must have like a quarterback you took early, because Swift, and then I don't even know like where, like Swift and Pitts, and then where do your other players go? Like you must have taken Pearson round 4 or something. I don't even know what to tell you to trade because Pierce doesn't have the best trade value. Efren, you might have to go in another week and let Swift. If you're just asking me to do start, bench, I'll say, obviously your 2 running backs are going to be Swift and Pierce. Your 2 wide receivers are going to be DK and Gabe Davis. And your 2 flexes are going to be DJ Moore and Garrett Wilson. And your tight end is going to be Pitts. If you can't, yeah. That's if I'm optimizing the starting lineup, that's how I go. But trade wise, and maybe you were just wanting me to do that and you didn't give me your full team. I'm thinking that might be it. So my bad on thinking that there was more to that. I think you were just asking me for a lineup advice. 12-team PPR: Josh Allen, Javonte, Damian, AJ Brown, St. Brown, DK, Kittle. Still have 2 flex spots to play each week. Got Olave, Hardman for those with D-Hop waiting. Should I be looking for any moves or holding? So Josh Allen, Javonte, Damian, you're light at running back too, but I like it. It's a crafty move with Damian Pierce right there. St. Brown and AJ Brown and DK is pretty good. Olave's got good trade value. Hopkins has good trade value. It seems like it's a pretty deep lineup. So it's hard to like say trade Olave when that would be your flex. And it sounds like if you have Hardman in there that you don't have much depth at all either. The only thing I could say is like, ride it out with DK and Kittle and hope you get what you need out of those 2 and Damian Pierce steps up and then you're probably pretty good. Would you say, looking at the other teams, you feel like you're a top 5 team? Because if you feel that way, I would ride it out and hope that you get what you want out of those questionable spots in Damian Pierce, DK, and Kittle. If you feel like you need to make a move, I would hate to say like trade Josh Allen, but I wonder if you can get a Burrow and a huge player along with it to replace if you needed to go that route. Again, prefacing, I don't want you to do it. Like I like Josh Allen that much, but you could explore that if you feel honestly, self-reflecting. My team, honest assessment, can't win it. I need to do something. Then I'm all for exploring it, but only getting an amazing offer. I don't know if you recall, but my team need a 2 for Cup, for Amon-Ra and Lenny. I have Rashad. I don't like Lenny. I keep Cup in that example. I want Amon-Ra, but I don't want Lenny. Cup and I mean, this week he's going to look pretty good though, just so you know. You don't come back to me and say, oh my God, he had 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. I should have made that trade. I'm telling you right now, he could have that in week number 3. He's like the only weapon. So, but that doesn't mean I'm going to like him on the year. So you could potentially do it and then trade him high, but that's a big gamble. Because what if he gets hurt? He's already got a hamstring injury. He's going to be asked to be overworked in week number 3, and who knows what happens. Cup and AJ Dillon for like DJ Moore, London, Javonte, and Cooks. No, I love Javonte, but no. Cup and Dillon are very valuable. I have Lamb, Dillon, and Hollywood. I'd trade Lamb. Trade Lamb in Hollywood, or Lamb and something to try and get St. Brown. Lamb for Higgins straight up is like one of those crafty sidestep moves that I kind of like. But I don't like those trades. I keep Cup. You got a lot. Get more for Cup. Cup deserves so much more. He deserves so much more respect than that. He's literally, you could argue, the number 1 or 2 overall player. 237 of you, only 97 thumbs up. Please punch that button. Thoughts on Goff rest of the season? I don't know. I trust Tua more than I trust Goff the rest of the season, if we're talking about players that are outperforming right now. I'm not trusting Goff. They have a good offense, and it's kind of like Tannehill in previous years where it's like, how should I say this? It's kind of like in previous years where Tannehill has been able to play at a top 5 to 7 level, even though he's not a top 5 to 7 quarterback, but the offense allowed him to be. So, like, could I see is there a world where Goff plays top 7 to 10 for multiple games and does it for half a year? And sure. Thank you, Junkie, for the super chat. What do you think about Knox? I think he's fine. I think he's a good 6 to 12 tight end. He could be anywhere in there. He's, even without scoring yet, he could still have double-digit touchdowns, 10 touchdowns on the season. Like, that's how he can have those 2 or 3 TD games, like, at any moment. So I don't drop him or bench him. I would even trade for him if the price is right, Swift or Javonte. I mean, Swift's safer right now. He's banged up. I would probably take Swift over Javonte in one league and Javonte over Swift in another if they were side by side, to kind of give you an idea of how close it is for me. I wouldn't just choose Javonte in both of them. I want both of them. I love both of them. I wanted to draft both of them. Javonte and Swift were one of my favorite strategies in fantasy football. 12 and 13 overall picks, 11 and 14. That was my move. That was my strategy. You skipped my boy Gustavo's super chat. How did I do that when I'm going one for one? Oh no, I wasn't to it yet. I just did his. Scotty deal. We got it. We're going slow. I'm trying not to miss any by doing it this way. I hit the brakes on AJB Hendy for Aaron Jones, Smitty. They both have good matchups this week. I would probably rather have, I don't know if I've wavered on this one since you asked last or what my answer was, but I would lean Aaron Jones just a little bit right now. And the win could move me one direction or the other. Like, it really could. AJ Brown's just got that hint of an injury risk. He went to the blue tent during the game already, and it's like his knees are a concern. I'm not saying to trade him low. I'm not trying to cause mass panic. I love A.J. Brown. I'm going to continue to tell people to buy low on A.J. Brown, because if you can buy him low, I love him. If you can trade your lamb into A.J. Brown, I do it in a heartbeat. So there is a definite feeling and vibe of me getting A.J. Brown on a lot of my rosters. I don't want you to think I don't love A.J. Brown. But Aaron Jones looks real efficient right now. So, I would lean Aaron Jones. Try and get a little more if you think that could happen. Jordan with the $5 holler. Jordan says 12-team PPR. Lamar, Pittman, Waddle, CMC, Javonte, Everett, A-Rob, benches Mooney, Curtis Samuel, Edmonds, Ramondre, Claypool. Let's see. Lamar, Pittman, Waddle, CMC, Javonte, Everett, A-Rob. I like it, man. I don't love CMC on draft day, but I don't mind trading for him at this juncture, especially when you see him play 2 games and he's not injured yet. Makes me want to buy in a little bit at a low price. So I don't mind you keeping him, because I don't think you sell him ultra high coming off last week. He had 100 yards total, but it was like a 50-something plus yard, scamper at the end that got him over that total of 100 yards. I still worry about him a little bit, but I don't think I trade him low. So I think you hold what you have. Lamar, Pittman, and Waddle are great wide receivers considering your running backs. I think I go after Pitts. I think I use Edmonds. I think I use Curtis Samuel. I throw either one or Edmonds and Samuel and Everett together to go get Kyle Pitts, and then you have a difference maker on this team that's already very, very well set up, and you get a Pitts on it, then it's going to have that difference maker potential. Money Mitch says Wentz, Tua, Dalvin Cook, ETN, Eckler, B-Rob. I feel like it's costing me games. Pitts, Muth, what do you suggest to strengthen your wide receivers? I don't trade Pitts on the low. Muth, maybe you can move him still if you couple him with somebody. But Dalvin Cook, Eckler, ETN, those are very good running backs. You can put ETN on the bench for now or start him if you have to, for your flex. But probably start Tua. He could probably rather have Tua this week than Wentz because I think they both could struggle a little bit more than normal, but they both could do well. I'd probably start Tua for now. Start the hot hand. Cook, Eckler's fine. Kirk is a good sell, but also a good hold. Also a good start. I like Kirk. But I would trade Kirk and Muth for like a Pierce or a Breece Hall. Kirk and Muth for Breece Hall. Go to the Breece Hall owner, see if they need a tight end. If they don't, I'd probably trade Scary Terry and Kirk. I like buying Breece Hall. I like buying potentially DK. DK might be a good play for you. But Kirk's also a really good wide receiver. So, I don't know. Maybe you keep Kirk and maybe you trade Ayuk and... Man, I don't know. I don't know what you should do here. Go to a tight end needy team and just take a look at what they have and kind of go from there. Because then you can maybe trade Kirk or Terry and Muth for one big, badder wide receiver. Maybe you trade ETN for Higgins. Maybe you got to give ETN and Muth away for Higgins. And then all of a sudden you got a wide receiver that I like a lot. So Money Mitch, I'd start with that. And then, if you get any other leads, come back. Let Russ cook or Wentz for now. Here are the matchups. So let's take a look at Carson Wentz. Russ has got a matchup against the Niners. That's probably at the end here. So Denver at home versus the Niners, or you got the Commanders, the football team, the Presidents, whatever, at home against the Eagles, which is a tough matchup. They're both tough matchups. I'd probably go with Russ. Russ has the Niners number. You know what I mean? So at least you got some data there to say that, it's a tough matchup, but Russ knows how to beat the Niners. So I just feel like Wentz is I don't know. Maybe me not buying into Wentz and I need to be honest. I might be a little biased from the past on Wentz, but I would say that it's probably something that I veer away from until we have a little bit more evidence that he needs to be started, in those cases. I asked you the first super chat, Wilson or Wentz. Thanks. I'm sorry, Gustavo, didn't I answer that? I'm sorry, bro. I thought I answered that. I asked you in the first super chat, Wilson or Wentz. I'm going to go Wilson. I'm going to go Wilson, Gustavo. I appreciate you, my man. Sorry about the wait on that. Lewis says, hey, Smitty, Najee played good. Just that fumble ruined the day. Flex. Najee didn't play good, though, Lewis. I mean, he had 3 point some yards per carry. We can't really say he played good. He had a good touchdown run. Well, you can't really say he played that good. It was 3.7 yards per carry. It's not good. He had a good touchdown run. He had a couple good plays, but that's not a good day. If he averaged, 5 yards a pop or something, which isn't his fault necessarily, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. I still feel like I trade him on the high. It doesn't change. My buy low, sell high list, Najee remains a sell. He still remains a potential buy in the right situation, but he's mostly a sell on this list. That offense should scare you a little bit, in my opinion. Flex and wide receiver, Elijah Moore, ETN, or DK. God, every time it's gonna be the moment we all sit ETN. I think we all got to sit ETN together, group effort, to get ETN to bounce up and finally get his. But DK, Seattle's at home against Atlanta. Maybe this is the game. I'm going to lean DK, but I'm so badly rooting for myself to be wrong here. And I want you to come back, Lewis, and tell me, thanks a lot for telling me to start DK over ETN, Smitty. I'm hoping that there's a negative comment coming from you, Lewis. I want it bad, bro. But I'm going to say Atlanta at home in Seattle. I think this is the game. I think this might be the time. This is the last week where you can buy DK at seller dweller pricing. It could be inconsistent this year, so you could have a buy window open up again, but this is seller dweller time for DK. I don't know that we're going to have an opportunity to get DK this cheap again. I'm going DK, bro, but that's me. I could be wrong. Dre Steel Supply, or Steel, I'm just making up words. Dre Steel City Supply. Oh, bro. My mind's completely zonked. Ziggy, Studio On. Maybe I need more lighting in here. That's great. Aaron Jones for Javonte or Aaron Jones for Kelsey. I don't draft, even though Kelsey's playing great. I just don't trade for a tight end. I feel like it puts you in such a bind. But I think context matters more than anything here. So is there a way you could post your team? I don't want to give you the wrong advice. You could be stacked at RB, and this make a lot of sense. So I'm going to put you up here until I find your team. Rock Out says trade Javonte Williams, AJ Brown, and A-Rob for Cup and Monty. No. Javonte, AJ Brown worth a lot more value than Cup and Monty, in my opinion. Don't do that trade. Smitty disapproved to an extreme degree. Cuban, the guy that has Pierce in my league also has Burrow. How about I give him Edmonds and Carr for Burrow and Pierce? You do that, and we're gonna take a victory lap on your behalf. So go get that done. Report back, and we'll celebrate your victory, because that would be an absolute amazing trade. Latest thoughts on Pittman. I mean, people are like forgetting how much they loved him. You know, like people drafted him in the 3rd round, sometimes the late 2nd round. So I don't know why everyone's devaluing him over one game. It's kind of like one of those things where I avoid on draft day. Let everybody draft him at late 2nd and early 3rd round value at ridiculously high expectations. Then he disappoints, he misses a game. Now I come in and trade for him. I don't mind trading for him with that disappointment, you know? Blackbeard says 229 people in here. Punch that thumb up button. Thank you, Blackbeard. Appreciate you. This one's from Steve. Debo, Monty, Khalil Herbert for Cook, Terry, and Olave. Give me Debo and Monty. I like Debo more than Cook right now, and Monty probably more than Terry and Olave, but it's close, Steve. It's very close. It just depends on if you think Monty could potentially be the guy. Ed. My boy Ed. Jake, you never did my Pickens comp. Did Ron Navy? Is Ron Navy gone? I was waiting for Ron Navy. Pickens comp. I would say. God, who does he remind me of? Sutton? Cortland Sutton, maybe? Cortland Sutton meets Mike Thomas. Is that a good comp? Cortland Sutton meets Mike Thomas, Jake? It's hard to comp him because we haven't seen enough of him, you know. I'm trying to like picture the plays that I see, and it's like I love his hands. I think maybe that feels about right. I don't know. Ron Navy said Odell Beckham Jr. is rookie year. I could see that. Yo, Dre, you didn't say you had Saquon and Eckler, my boy. Yeah, Saquon. If you got Saquon and Eckler, maybe I do go after Kelsey, my guy. I feel like that does change things. I'm glad I paused on that one because was that Aaron Jones for Javonte or Aaron But then again, I love Javonte. Saquon Javonte. I don't know. I'm okay with Kelsey in your context, in your team, in your situation, but I also wouldn't mind Javonte or Aaron Jones. They're all very good options, man. I don't think you can go too wrong. I mean, obviously you'll be wrong, but I mean, like, on its face, they all are very even. 1 QB, Russ, Carr, CMC, Chubb, Sanders, McKissick, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Judy, Kirk, Waller. Optimize, please. Can't get trades approved. Okay, so we're just talking about lineup. Russell, Wilson, Carr. I'll probably go with Carr this week, I think. Yeah, against the Titans, even though it's in Tennessee. Yeah, go Carr this week. CMC, Chubb. Chubb obviously had a good day for you. So CMC. And then, so your 2 running backs are Chubb and CMC. Your lineup, your 2 wide receivers are Hill and St. Brown. If you need a 3rd wide receiver, I would go Kirk. Waller's your tight end, and your flex, if you had another opportunity, I probably would put in Sanders for now. Can't get trades approved. If you could get a trade approved, Sanders and Kirk for Higgins or AJ Brown or Breece Hall. Like, I'm going after those, bro. All day long, baby. All day long, Ed. Appreciate you, Ed. Rock out. Who would you try to get for Javonte Williams and AJ Brown? I mean, that's a loaded question, so I'm going to give you one player, and it's up to you to find Swift. Javonte, AJ Brown for Swift and somebody. So it depends on what they had. And if you can't make that trade, that'd be like an even Steven trade, I guess. But I don't know. I don't like this game because I like both of these players. So JT and something. And you still have to have something, because I wouldn't trade Javonte and AJ Brown straight up for JT, because I like the combination here. But like JT and something, Eckler and something. It just depends on if you can get that something to be better than AJ Brown, because that's how good Javonte is. So it's a good question. It's a fun puzzle for me. DK start wide receiver and ETN as the flex, or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson over ETN is probably a tad safer, broski, until we see ETN, but I mean, that's a little scary. Traded ETN and Hollywood Brown and got Pittman. Did I get fleeced? No, you did good. I like Pittman. I think you did really well. I think you could end up regretting it later if ETN opens up and becomes the guy we hoped he is, but we're going to be so happy. We're not going to rub it in too much, but I'm telling you right now, I'd make this trade. I'd take Pittman for now. I traded Chubb and Sutton for Chase. Too much. I traded Chubb and Sutton for Chase. I mean, yeah, because it is too much, because Chubb has more value than Chase. You should be the one getting Sutton, bro. This is what we talked about earlier on the Buy Low Sell High video yesterday. Or was it? No, today. Earlier today. It's yesterday now for Eastern. What time it's the next day. But that's what we talked about. Chubb could get you the world. He's the number 1 running back in fantasy football, and he remains so coming out of week 3, probably. I don't think anybody's going to pass him, so he'll be the number 1 running back. Jamar Chase is in some context struggling more than he should, so you should be getting the Dameon Pierce or the Breece Hall and Jamar Chase for Chubb. So I wouldn't say you got fleeced or anything, but you definitely left some value on the table and actually surrendered some value you probably shouldn't have. But is it a move that's going to hurt you? Probably not. I mean, you'll probably be okay, right? DK or Jacoby? DK. I do sense DK bouncing back. Did I get fleeced? I already answered that one, I think. No. I traded away ETN and Hollywood for Everett and Pitts and Lazard. Everett, sorry. ETN and Hollywood and Everett for Kyle Pitts and Lazard. I don't think you got fleeced. I think you gave up a good amount of talent, but like, could you fill some of that off of waivers and say, give me Pitts all day? I think so. I'd take Kyle Pitts, baby. Put him in there. I don't know. I don't think you got fleeced. I think you got fleeced because Pitts looks like he's not Pitts right now, bro. Like if Pitts turns into what we believe he could bounce back to, then who got fleeced in the end of the day? Who cares? Who cares what they tell you? I like that trade. You gave up a lot of names. What did you give up? You know, I like ETN. I like Hollywood. I like Everett. They're all good names. I hope ETN makes you regret making that trade. I'm sorry to say that. I hope ETN does. But at the end of the day, if ETN becomes what we think he's going to become, and Pitts bounces back into the player we know he is, then it's even. You know what I mean? In my mind, worst case, you break even. Rockout says, I just got Swift. I guess JT and someone else. I got Swift. I guess JT and someone else. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, like, why do you got to pair both of them, Rockout? Maybe just go after trading one of them or something, but to trade both of them, two players I really like.
Smitty, how you doing? Stormcat here. I'm getting a little bit nervous about
Thank you, Rockout.
who I'm heavily invested in this year. After seeing him flash elite talent for a little while last year as a rookie before getting hurt. This year he's done not much through a couple of weeks.
Brees Hall.
Garrett Wilson is rapidly ascending the ranks of rising young stars. What's your analysis of these two guys together? Not much through a couple of weeks, and it looks like Garrett Wilson is...
So, to answer the question, I don't want you dropping Elijah Moore, but in good conscience, I can't tell you to start him, especially over Garrett Wilson if you had both of them. But like just speaking in general, like I think while the current quarterback situation is the way that it is, we have a pattern. We know what time it is. It is Garrett Wilson time. Once or if a quarterback situation re-emerges, and it sounds like they're like Zach Wilson won't be ready. Or Zach Wilson won't be put in there until he's 110%. You know, like, what's that even mean? What's that even mean? You got so much wiggle room there. He's got to be 110%, not 100. He's got to be 110%. Like, I think they're just, that means that we don't want to put him in unless Flacco fails. They're literally going to keep Zach Wilson, their franchise quarterback that we don't know if he's got it left in the tank or got enough ability in the tank with all the off the field drama and the injuries and the fact that he hasn't looked great anyway, and they like Flacco. Flacco is going to get hurt at some point though, right? And then you got to think, like, will they turn to Mike White? Probably not, because they continue to overlook him. You just pass him right over. Like, trade him at least. I don't understand the Mike White thing. So until there's a quarterback change, I don't know that could start Elijah Moore, but I do like him. You shouldn't cut him. You shouldn't cut him, bro. Don't cut him. Phone lines are going to be opened right now, so dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show. I think people are sleeping on Juju. Bro, I think Juju's sleeping on the field. So, like, I don't know about that. It's kind of a bold statement, I think. Alex says, let me turn the phone lines completely on. I'm sorry. Alex says, how many laps am I taking? Traded Javonte, JJ, and Flacco for Burrow, St. Brown. Hold on a second. Maxim, you're live on the show, pal. Hang tight real quick. I'm going to read the super chat, and then I'm coming for you. Hold on one second. Traded Javonte, JJ, and let's see. Traded Javonte, JJ, and Flacco for Burrow, St. Brown, and Najee. Javonte, JJ, Flacco, Burrow, St. Brown, Najee. I think I'd rather have the Burrow. No. That's a tough one. Maxim, what do you think on that? Would you rather have Javonte, JJ, and Flacco? I mean, I don't know if you're starting Flacco. If you're starting Flacco, it makes me want to throw up. But
yeah,
if you start,
what is he looking for? What's the question?
Yeah, just judge the trade. We don't know if he has a better starter than Flacco, but he's probably just throwing him in. Javonte, JJ, and Flacco for Burrow, St. Brown, and Najee Harris.
Oh man, that's tough.
Got chat. What do you think on that?
St. Brown.
It's kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie, my brain is like, I've been live so much today, and everything I'm doing, it's hard for me to even digest this one.
I don't know. I just don't believe. I mean, Trent Brown sounds nice, but I don't believe in magic. And I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I
I
can't.
think he better keep the Javante thing.
Yeah, I don't think I could trade JJ. I love. I mean,
Yeah.
love the fact that you're getting Burrow, but I gotta assume you got a better quarterback. I'm gonna say gotta assume you have a better quarterback than Flacco, and for that reason you can't trade it. If I had to start Flacco, that makes this something you would debate. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But like if I forced you to start Flacco, you have to debate this trade. You have to at least debate it, like contemplate it. But like if you have another quarterback that you can put in there, and I have to imagine you can, then it's JJ and Javante all day long. Because now you're talking about JJ and Javante, and let's say, I don't know, let's say Stafford or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you could, or Aaron Rodgers or Brady, or like, I mean, how do you not have one of those quarterbacks as well somewhere? How do you have Flacco unless you lost Dak and nobody's trading you quarterbacks? You know what I mean? Like, so my answer, Alex, is that if you're forced to start Flacco, then this is a very, very tough dilemma. Alex says he lost Trey Lance, but you literally had no other backup plan because Trey Lance had risk. Like, you know, he had a lot of risk. You needed to have a good backup plan. So I don't know. I'm waiting for Alex to give me an answer if he can get a better quarterback. I don't know what he's going to do here. That's pretty crazy. I'm going to merge Scotty Dew into the call. Scotty Dew, you're on the line with Maxim. Let's let Maxim go first, and then Scotty Dew will come back to you.
Sounds good, man.
Maxim, what can I help you with?
Hey, Smitty. So I got this question. So for my flex spot, I got Derek Wilson, I got ETN, and I got Lamb. I also get Curtis Samuel. So it's kind of, I don't know which one to choose.
Say it again.
So for my flex, so first of all, I do a 3 wide receiver set. I got Jamar Chase, I got Tariq Hill. And for my flex spot, who should I go for? For Derek Wilson, CD Lamb, or Curtis Samuel?
I think you got to go CD Lamb until he does something. Like he did okay last week. You know, but I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't think I could sit CD Lamb. I mean, Garrett Wilson's fun, but who knows what he does this week. I think you got to go with CD Lamb. The matchup.
What about Curtis Samuel?
I mean, he's safe-ish, but I think on Monday night, you got the bottom right corner. You got the Dallas matchup. I got it right here. Dallas matchup against the Giants Monday night. I kind of just think CD Lamb's probably the way to go.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a divisional rival. Yeah, you're right. I think.
Yeah, I mean, not that you can't. I mean, you could get it wrong, man. You could get it wrong. I'm not saying that I feel great about it because CD Lamb is not the same player he was with Dak in there and the thoughts of this offense, you know, blowing up. But like, how can you sit him? You know, he's such a talent, and it's not like he's injured. We keep acting like I don't know,
man. That's exactly how I feel. Like,
don't you feel like he's hurt?
CD Lamb, right?
It doesn't feel like he's hurt. Like we're talking about a guy that's like, I feel like we're talking about him like he's Hopkins. Hopkins is out 6 weeks, and we're like, oh, Dak's out, you know, until week 11. That means CD Lamb's out till week 11. CD Lamb's not out. He's still playing, but I don't know, bro. I'd say Lamb. But
yeah,
Maxim,
I'll go with the Lamb. I just want to take a look at Wilson. Just want to see how he progresses from now on.
All right, bro.
So I'll go with Lamb. Thanks,
call back if you have another one later.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, Scotty Dew. What can I do for you?
What's up, man? So I just have a question. I just want to hear your thoughts on kind of going through a little situation in one of my leagues. Obviously, so someone I used to work with, he's the commissioner of the league, but he's acting like a douche. Basically, me and my friend, we made a trade, and it was sitting there since Monday, and he didn't approve it until this afternoon. You know, while the games were started. But then someone else had made a trade, and then he pushed it through today on the same day. So he pushed basically our trade and then the other person's trade on the same day, basically not acknowledging the 2-day processing time, and it kind of like just made an issue. And I just basically commented on the group chat like, hey, please play fair. If you're gonna push the trades through on the same
Finish
day,
him.
then you should probably do that for all of them.
Call terminated.
Wait a period for
Bro, you got to get to the point, man. I'm sorry, but I can't even listen to this story. It's so long. Can you give me one sentence and wrap this up real quick? So
I'm like, I don't know, man. I guess I'm venting. I just thought, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what would you do? Just kind of ignore the situation?
on a live show, it's a little like this is probably a good, really good conversation, Scotty. I want to make sure you don't feel too bad about that. We're just kind of I'm having fun with you a little bit, but it's hard on a live show to take on like a novel like that. So in a nutshell, I didn't even hear the end of it, to be honest. I couldn't, like, I have ADD too. On top of that, before they even invented it, I've had that. Can you give me a synopsis in one sentence? Go.
All right. So if commissioner is going to push a trade through the same day, but push a different trade on in 48 hours, that's pretty unfair, right? The commissioner should be, playing fair for everybody and pushing the trade through.
Let me answer. That's a great question. It's a great question, and Scotty, it actually is a really good topic. And I'm just messing with you, bro. Just a little bit of entertainment here. It was hard to listen to some of it, but because I'm at the end of my day too. It's not your fault. In general, I don't play in leagues. I usually leave them. If the commissioner is like going rogue and doing inconsistent things and making their own judgment calls. Like I hate those commissioners where they literally get to decide, oh, I'm going to veto this trade on my own thinking, or I'm going to come in and do this unorthodox processing of this trade. Like, you need to have the rules mapped out. And some of this is on the people playing in the league. Like, you shouldn't play in a league where your commissioner just continues to abuse his power and you just keep coming back. So part of this is on the person playing. But like, everything should be through vote. I'm a commissioner of the people, and I don't even let myself vote. That's how you really commission a league. You don't let yourself even vote. I just collect everybody's vote. There's a 12-team league, 11 votes. If we're gonna do some kind of massive change, you need 11 people to say yes to it. Like, if we're gonna add a flex spot, we need 11 votes, or it's not going through. That's how you really commission a league, because someone or 2 or 3 people could leave over something like that. No one's going to leave over something not passing to additionally add something to it. But when you start taking stuff away and you don't get full approvals, that's ridiculous. So if you're going to process one trade, veto this, do that. Like, I don't like the way that's sounding. So I agree with you. And I appreciate you. And I'm sorry, Scotty. I was just joking with you.
It's all right. It's frustrating to me and my buddy Gustavo that sent you a super chat earlier, because our trade was sitting there since Monday and then got approved today, but then a different trade that was basically not sitting there. It was basically just went through and then pushed through on the same day. So yeah, that was pretty unfair. And then it kind of he got the commissioner got all pretty much defensive after I'm just spitting facts in the group chat, like, hey, if you're gonna push trades through on the same day, then that should be all. That's how it should be for all trades. Not to pick and choose. You
can't push. You have a waiting process for a reason, and if you make a trade after the waiting process, then the trade doesn't go through till the next week, or you don't have a waiting process. Like that. That's the whole thing. I don't understand that. You can have Gustavo call up too if you want. Gustavo, you can call up. I'll get you both on the line. You can both vent. I'll just kick back. But I don't know, bro. I honestly, like, why play in that kind of league, I guess? Unless it's only once in a while this thing happens and you're like, you still love all the guys in it and you don't want to leave it. But this is the kind of things that, like, people get angry at and they stop talking to each other. And there's like ended friendship. How many people in the chat have ended a friendship temporarily? You maybe got, you and your buddy got back together after. But, you basically broke up with your best friend or a really good friend over fantasy football. Raise your hand. I'll raise my hand. This is a grown man in front of you that runs a fantasy football channel, in content. And I have literally there was a buddy and I that we would literally end our friendship for like 2-3 weeks at a time because, and I felt like I was always in the right. He was overreacting to this, overreacting to that. Raise your hand. I've had that. Fantasy football is definitely hilarious in how it makes people react. It's unbelievable the reactions people have. But Scotty, anything else you have to ask me? I owe you for playing around with you, so I owe you some kind of answer for something.
Well, I did make a trade for Kyle Pitts. I traded away Russell Wilson and Schultz for Pitts. And
yeah, I like that. Someone else is on the phone. I merged him in. Who are we talking to? Who's this?
Gustavo Smitty, how are you?
Hey, Scotty,
What's up, Gustavo?
we got the broskies on here. Guys, can we get the commish on the phone? Can someone three-way the commish?
No, don't do
We
that.
don't want the commissioner right now.
Because I definitely could take care of this in one sitting. So Gustavo, you and Scotty made a trade. Let me get this right. You and Scotty made a trade, and it didn't get pushed through. It went through naturally, right?
It went naturally today at almost Hawaii time, 12 o'clock. And the games here in Hawaii start at 2. And I was kind of like, oh, what's going on? Because I checked it in the morning. And I was like, oh, it might go in the morning. It didn't go in the morning. Right before the game started, it went through. But 2 days ago, a trade was made, and he pushed it right through. He didn't have a 2-day waiting period or anything. And my boy Scotty texted him, hey, man, can you just be fair? And then I was like, hey, guy, can you just be fair? That's it. And he started insulting, and I was like, what? Out of nowhere, just getting offensive. And I just think it's
in Hawaii, and you guys are in Hawaii where it's chill. You know, nothing upsets you guys. You got the ocean surrounding you on all sides. Like, you guys are just probably the most chill people in the world. Can I also tell you guys I almost died on the Moke Islands when I was 18 years old.
wow.
You know the Mokes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know that the swells are not even waves. It's those Mokes are a mile out from the what beach is it that they're out from? Is it not Waikiki? It's what beach is that?
Oh, it's Pipeline.
Sandy's Beach or North Shore?
North Shore, something like that. So yeah.
Pipeline.
Okay, so you canoe out or whatever a mile, and there's these 2 islands. They're called the Moke Islands. Are the Mokaluas or is it the Mokes? I don't. I think they're just called the Mokes. Yeah. So I canoe out, and my brother and I, my stepbrother and I, we canoe out on the the front facing side of the islands. Before they had signs. There's no signs or anything, and we hike all the way up the mountains. They're really pretty big little mountains. And for what they are in the ocean there, and we hike up to the top, and then we see these swells of waves coming, and we see turtles and fish, and probably a shark or something coming up. Constantly you see these swells, and the swells were higher than us, but we didn't know. We're 18-year-old punks just standing on this island and have no idea the tide's changing slowly, and these swells that are higher than us with these turtles and fish and everything, and we're on a mountain. Like it's a small mountain, but they're little tiny little islands, and it's like I don't know, how tall would you say the Mokes are?
I'm not sure, but they're tiny. They're super tiny though.
Way to ruin my story. They're not tiny. They have to be like what? Like they'd have to be like 5 or 6, 7 stories tall, maybe 6 stories tall. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not small.
Yeah, but not compared to how the island is. But
no, I know. I'm not saying it's like the Hawaii. This like the mainland. I'm just saying they're little islands out there, but they're like 7 stories tall, and they're just way above the water. And so we're standing out there, and we're standing on top of what it's about. I don't know, 7, 8 stories, whatever it is, and we're watching these swells just higher than our heads, and we're too dumb to know because we're not natives. And then all of a sudden, the swells start getting closer. And all of a sudden, we look, and then all of a sudden, the swell that's way above our head, probably 10 feet above our head, doesn't break. And it just takes us off the island. and our backs are all scratched up, and
Yeah.
we're literally hanging on the edge of this like cliff, where we would have, if we fell, there's jagged rocks everywhere in between the two islands. It was crazy, bro. But I love Hawaii.
That's crazy.
I appreciate you guys.
Good thing you're alive.
Yeah,
Good
there
thing
would have
you're
been
alive,
though.
'cause you're the king of fantasy football.
Thank you,
The
guys.
king. I have another question, Smitty.
Okay, Gustavo,
I
hit
have
me.
Henry. What should I do? I start him. What do I do with Henry?
Well, you have to start him, Gustavo. That's definitely not under debate. But I would try and trade him. You know, like could you go get? Can you get a Debo and a running back? Can you go get an Eckler while he's cheap? Can you go get a Kamara and just kind of lay off your risk a little bit? I just don't know that I love. I know, Gustavo. They're big islands. They're little big islands. How big are they, Gustavo? They're tiny. They were big in context. You know, you canoe to them and you have to like hike 15-20 minutes around to the top of it. Like, I mean, it was a little tiny mountain, like, you know, a little bit. But anyway, it's crazy how those swells are so tall out there that far, because there's no waves breaking. It swells, right? A mile out, and it's like,
Yeah, it swells.
The whole island gets covered.
Where people go. Yeah, that's where people go in
To
jet
die.
skis. The surfers go out there with the jet skis to catch the swells.
Yeah, it is crazy, bro. But I love Hawaii. I need to get back there. Hawaii's, you guys, it's amazing. Cost of living is through the roof, though. But it is.
Oh, it's crazy. Cost of living is ridiculous.
How much is gas there?
It's what, Sam's Club, it's like $4.50 at Sam's Club.
It's like $6 sometimes here. You guys are. That's another one of those moments where I think you're gonna say something big or extravagant, and you say something smaller. How much is a pizza?
I got a one bedroom apartment for $1,200. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's actually not that bad. I think maybe Hawaii's getting cheaper. I don't know. Maybe I need to get to Hawaii.
But hey, Gustavo, you're not gonna get Debo because the commissioner has Debo. Good luck with that.
Yeah, he'll probably accept the trade and then veto it later. All right, guys, I gotta get going. I appreciate you. Call back anytime, Gustavo. I got you in here, Scooby or Scotty Doo, Scooby Doo, Scotty Doo. I got you in my phone as well. Appreciate you both. You guys are amazing.
You too,
All
man.
right, thank you, Smitty.
All right, later, guys. Oh man, that's great when two league mates call in. A lot of people say I don't tell my league about your show because I want it, but look at that. You have so much fun in a pack. You know what I mean? What's up, Unburger, live on the show. What's up, Unburger?
Hey, I had Zeke. I traded him for Garrett Wilson. Is that a bad trade or good trade?
Who for Garrett?
PPR. Zeke for Garrett Wilson.
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna merge Ben in. Ben, you're on the show as well. Ben, let me help Unburger real quick, and then I'll help you, Ben. I would say, like, I don't know. I think Garrett Wilson could outscore him, so it's not bad. Do I think it sucks that you're trading Zeke Elliott, who you probably drafted in round 4 when I told you not to, Unburger, and you're trading of him for a waiver wire guy that is amazing, but it sucks. You know?
Well, I just had to. You know what do you do? Like you hold the guy who's just not even doing that good, or
No,
you
I mean,
get off and quit before no one watches him. You know,
I hear you. I hear you. You keep, do you keep holding the fish that's biting you, or do you let it go and move on? Like I feel like Zeke is a limp fish, and I think it's Pollard season. Do you at least have Tony Pollard?
Yeah, I got Pollard. Yeah, too.
Okay, and you kept him, so that's good.
So I'll probably just play Pollard, and I was going to bench Zeke and play Pollard, and now I'll probably just I'll play Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. Hey, hang tight, Umberger. You can help me answer Ben's question. Ben, what do you got?
Hey, Smitty. How are you today?
What's up, Ben? I'm good.
Not too much. I wanted to call you that I'm having a rough go with fantasy for the first 2 weeks in both my leagues.
You sound like it. What could I do to help?
Could I give you all my players, and you write it down on the marker board, and you tell me what I should do, shouldn't do, what I should do going forward?
Ben, would it make you feel a little better?
It would, if you don't mind. But
you want me to draw a little heart on the marker board for you too? Here you go.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, Ben, hit me with your team. Let's break it down, marker board style.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so at quarterback, we got Jalen Hurts. Wide receiver, we got Jamar Chase. Wide receiver 2, Marquise Brown. Wide receiver 3, Allen Robinson. Running back 1, Javonte Williams. Running back 2 is Darrell Henderson. Tight end, Dawson Knox. Flex, Devontae Smith. And then bench, we got Travis Etienne and, like Kenneth Walker, Algier, Traylon Burks, a bunch of other guys.
Okay. So I like some of the components here. I mean, underperforming, playing great. And I'm talking about Chase and Javonte underperforming, but like they're good. Don't worry too much about that. Hurts, I think you probably drafted A-Rob too high, is what my guess is. And that's okay. I mean, you could trade A-Rob and Hendy away for potentially. I think like a potential Higgins is somebody that I think if you bought low, and I know you have Higgins and Chase at that point, but I think that offense bounces back big time. So I don't know that I'm worried too much about having those two guys because I believe in the Bengal offense bouncing back. And if they are losing games, I think as long as they're blocking better and they're able to convert, and there was 2 tough matchups, I think that's good for the passing game. They're going to continue to throw. So that's a good target potentially. Another good player to go get maybe, and you can stack this, is go get A.J. Brown, who's a sell and a buy in a lot of ways because I worry about him getting hurt. But in this context, I'm trading Hendy and A-Rob for maybe A.J.B. That means you'd have to kind of rely upon ETN, who you can't trade anyway, but maybe you're going to roll the dice with Hendy or ETN instead of Hendy, but you get A.J. Brown in there. Of course, I'd love for you to get a Debo instead of A-Rob and Hendy. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Knox using maybe A-Rob and Knox for Kyle Pitts is a possibility. Umberger, you got any suggestions for him? Or did he hung up? There's too much excitement going on the board there for Umberger. He had to bail. Umberger does that. I tell Umberger to hang tight and help me, and then he just jumps off. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh.
Ben, what do you think about what I said?
Yeah, no, I do. I like your ideas. I feel like it could be hard to get Debo, but I had Pitt last year, and I kind of stunk it up for me a little bit. But yeah, okay. I like the advice. Thanks. And I don't know if I will go after Higgins because I hate having 2 players on the same offense. But yeah, I think any other players you think I should buy low on?
I can keep giving you guys. I don't mind that in this context because I think that they both can survive and have big games. But let's say Debo. Debo's a good one. Debo. I think one of them for Breece Hall. Like, I don't know that I'm giving up both of them for Hall. I potentially would if you're getting another player back. So if it's a Breece Hall plus and you're able to get somebody there. Walker could be your savior. Straight up players, it's tough to say that there's like A-Rob and Knox. Let me go through. I mean, you could try for a Kamara. Some people are freaking out more than you'd expect. So don't listen to people that say you can't get that because you never know what you can get. Are you 0-2?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
So if you went after Evans, that might hurt you because you're potentially going to go 0-3. But DK is an interesting go-get using a package deal. Pittman's not a bad go-get because people are really down on him. But I don't know how much of an upgrade he is of the A-Rob and Hendy package. But I would entertain it. Debo, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I doubt you get it, but you could certainly try using this A-Rob and Knox package. I'm sorry, A-Rob and Hendy package. As far as running back, A.J. Dillon's interesting if you want to put, the cojones on the table and assume that A.J. Dillon's going to crush A-Rob and Hendy. I don't mind putting A.J. Dillon in this lineup and putting ETN also in the lineup somehow. Mixon's very undervalued. It wouldn't surprise me if you could get Mixon for A-Rob and Hendy. Honestly, I know people might say that's a little much, but why not swing for the fences? I don't think he'll get Kamara. You could certainly try. The only other thing you could really do, bro, is trade Hurts on the high. If you want to, get someone different, like go to the Burrow. Who's the Burrow owner have?
Burrow? Give me 1 second. I'll actually find that out.
Because I think there's opportunity there where you swap out Burrow and Hurts and you get some massive upgrade. You trade A-Rob for like a, Jamar Chase. You take maybe he stacked them and he doesn't like the stack and he's scared about the stack, and you could get Jamar Chase and Burrow for Hurts and A-Rob. That would be a move. That'd be a move I'd love.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the guy who has Burrow has Tyreek Hill, McLaurin, Ayuk, Taylor, and Hall.
That sucks because I guess Hall and Burrow are a thought for Hurts, but I don't know. I don't think. I mean, that's something to think about. But what do you guys think? Burrow and Hall or Jalen Hurts? Hurts is somewhat safer right now, but this could change in 1 week. If Burrow goes out and has a 3 or 4 TD game against the Jets this week, then he's going to be right up there. If he goes out and bombs against the Jets because they still can't block, then he's going to be hard. He's going to be so easy to get, and he'll be questionable, because he hadn't bounced back yet after 3 games. But I've seen enough out of Burrow to know it's not Burrow's fault. I've seen Burrow 7 out of 10 when he's deep into 2 or at least 1 interception territory. He's still 7 out of 10. He's still doing very well considering. Like, people I don't think look at, what he's doing. So Burrow and Breece Hall, we got 1 vote. Harmon said Burrow and Breece Hall for Hurts. Can you name his team one more time? Maybe you can get 3 players, man.
Yeah. So the guy who has Burrow, he has Hill, McLaurin.
He's not giving you Hill.
Ayuk, JT,
Or you already have
Breece
Chase.
Hall, Mark Andrews, and that's
Mark
it.
Andrews.
Everybody else.
That's interesting, bro. Do you think you could trade Hurts for Burrow? Could you trade Hurts and Knox, do you think, for Andrews and Burrow?
Maybe. It's possible. This league I'm in actually is pretty casual. They're like 40-year-olds who kind of just watch football, laugh. So it's possible. I can try.
That's your way in, bro.
Wish me.
That's your way in right there. Burrow and Andrews for Hurts and Knox. And then if you got to throw, even if you've got to throw in something, I probably do. I don't know if I throw in maybe throw in A-Rob, maybe. I don't know, but you go after that. And if not, I would take Burrow and Breece Hall potentially for Jalen Hurts.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just a move. I mean, if you're 0-2, you got to make a move, right?
Yeah. And do you think ETN will take over eventually? Like, I can't believe J-Rob just, took this job and ran with it.
But has he really taken the job and ran with it? Everybody says that, but he's averaging 3.8 yards per carry, man.
Right.
Everyone keeps saying that. J-Rob looks amazing. He hasn't taken over. He's averaging 3.8 yards per carry. He looks exactly like we thought he would coming off a torn Achilles tendon. And everybody's just saying over and over that he's the guy. And, oh, my God. Like, if I have J-Rob, I'm selling him so quickly because he's not going to score touchdowns at that efficiency level all year long. 3.8 yards per carry. ETN averaged his first game, he was averaging 10 yards a rip. So ultimately, bro, I don't know. I wish I could tell you with certainty that ETN's going to ball out, but J-Rob has a very high likelihood of being injured because he's playing full volume, getting full workload off of an Achilles tendon injury. I don't care how good he's looking, it's still a big risk. And maybe he is the anomaly because he had a partial tear, and then we start looking at partial tears on Achilles differently or something. But I'm telling you right now, the likelihood of a running back staying healthy, period, is extremely, like, you're playing against the odds. And he's coming back just abusing that repaired Achilles tendon. I don't know. There's at some point he's going to have a lower body injury. It's almost inevitable. Look at Godwin. How much I said stay away from Godwin. He wasn't ready. He had an Achilles or an ACL tear, and he wasn't ready. You shove somebody not ready onto the field to play professional football, it's too much. Your body's not even ready. You're going to hurt yourself. That's why J.K. Dobbins is currently, barely even expected to play, even though he's fully practicing, because they rushed him back. Godwin, J.K. Dobbins, last year Barkley. You do not want a player coming off of that big of an injury, ACL or Achilles, playing for your fantasy football team if they are barely ready for week 1. And J-Rob was barely ready. He's doing very well, I admit, but ETN's got upside. All right, man, I'm gonna jump to the next call. I appreciate you. I hope I made you feel a little bit better. I put little hearts on the screen.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, Ben, keep the faith, bro. And have you played any Underdog Fantasy yet?
Unfortunately, I'm from Canada, so I don't know if we can play Underdog Fantasy here, unless if that's fall.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
I was disapproving you, but I'm joking. Well, anybody else can play Underdog Fantasy. You just go to the link in the description of the video and enter promo code Smitty. And
do you know if you can play in Canada?
I don't know. You'll have to check on that. I'm sorry. I wish I knew. I don't know. I'm not sure. I added someone else to the call. I'm gonna let you go, Ben. Call back if you have another question. I should be on for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Play in multiple leagues next year. Don't have just one league, or this is the way you feel. Like the tone in your voice is making me sad right now because you only have one league. You should have multiple leagues. And maybe even look to get together on my Discord with a few people that feel the same way and create a like week 4 league on from week 4 on or something, get creative and start something new. Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah. I'll catch you later.
Poor guy. I hate hearing the sound of a upset fantasy owner. Just gets me every time. Who am I talking to? You're live on the show.
What's going on, Smitty? It's Jay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jay. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, don't be down, last caller. I've struggled year after year just trying to figure out a good way to put a team together. And, this is one of those years. I drafted really well. I made a trade recently. Maybe everyone could give me their thoughts and opinions. But I traded CeeDee Lamb, Benjamin, and Damian Harris recently for DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper. And I feel pretty strong about it because context is everything, right? But I love the trade, especially after tonight. Amari looked amazing. Maybe it's finally his time. Again, it's been a few years, back-to-back 100-yard games. But what do you think?
So name the trade. Say the trade again. DK.
I traded CeeDee Lamb, obviously, draft capital. Benjamin and Damian Harris for DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that because I like DK a lot more than other people do, and I think week 3 will be very telling. He's got a good matchup. He plays the Atlanta Falcons. He's in Atlanta, and I think he finally gets back on track a little bit.
Right. Context is everything.
If he doesn't, then we're gonna be a little bit more panicked on him, right? But I still won't fully give up on him. But he might be like ETN. ETN after 2 weeks, we're panicked to the point where we're like put him on the bench and then wait. If you have a better option, but do not cut ETN. Do not give up on ETN. Like, stop at the nonsense of giving up on somebody after 2 weeks. But DK, if he goes through 3 weeks and doesn't deliver, there'll be a reason to be a little bit panicked on whether they're even going to use him right at all year long. But I'm really hopeful that he had a lot of he had like 7 receptions in week 1. I think he just had like 40 or 50 yards or whatever it was. It was like he had a lot of receptions. It was like, wow, he only had 12 points or something, but he had 7. What do you have? 7 receptions? Do you remember? I don't know.
Right. No, that's about right. I did watch that game.
Yeah. So Cooper did well. I'm fine with this trade. I mean, I hate the fact that you're trading Lamb, but Lamb isn't Lamb right now, and I don't know when.
Let me entertain everyone because context. You always say, Smitty always says context is everything. I killed this draft. Right. This is one of my first drafts. So get this. I want to give everyone else the rest of my team because they probably want to be. They're probably wondering. So
everyone's dying,
Jefferson
bro.
And Pittman.
Hold on. Everyone's dying to hear this.
Yeah, right?
Hold on.
I acquired these guys.
Hold on, broski.
I'm waiting.
Slow down. Okay. Hit me with your team. Let's ease everyone's mind.
Okay. So this is who I'm rolling with this week, right? This is my starting lineup. I acquired these guys before Wednesday night. Okay. Jalen Hurts. Justin Jefferson. Michael Pittman.
He sounds so proud. Okay,
Metcalf.
Pittman? Metcalf, okay. You sound like a kid in a candy store, bro. Go ahead.
A.J. Dillon, Breece Hall, and it's two flex. So in my flex, I have Nito Hines and Mark Cooper, and Conklin, of course.
You have Cooper.
I didn't get a good tight end.
Cooper and who?
Nino Hines in my flex. It's double flex in this league. So ultimately, Cooper.
Nino Hines? Naheem Hines, you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were calling him Nino. Okay. We got Nino. Nino in the flex.
Nino, yeah.
Okay.
Naheem Hines. Anyways,
I do love how some of you guys pronounce names. It's hilarious. I know I might pronounce a name or two wrong once in a while. But, like, it's funny when you hear it the first time.
I think I called in one time, and
okay.
I think I sabotaged Samaje Perine. How do you say that?
I mean, your team is, I'm not gonna say it's the best team I've ever seen. I'm not gonna say that. I'd say you've got some upside pieces. You need a couple things to happen, bro. These 2 running backs need to ball out more than DK needs to ball out. I think these are 3 very good pieces right here. Who is your flex again? Amari Cooper. So I'm not trying to burst your bubble. I'm not trying to say you don't have a team that has the potential, but you do need a couple things to pop off here. Not saying they can't, but you are reliant on DK, Dillon, and Hall. You have to have those. You have to have at least 2 of those guys go crazy. You gotta have Nino Hines, have a reception season for the ages, bro.
No, you.
All right, man. I got to move on to the next caller. I appreciate your positivity. You believe in your squad. You're excited about your squad, and I appreciate the passion that you have.
I got Godwin on the bench, baby. I'm ready to go. Let's party.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Later.
Bye-bye.
That's great. I'll have to admit, I'm not trying to be mean to his team or anything, but the way he was so confident, let me go ahead and ease all your viewers' minds. I was expecting him to drop some kind of grandma 4-team league looking team. You know what I mean? So I think we're all just he definitely upsold it. Is all I'm saying. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
This is Media.
Media, what's up, Media?
So I am in one of my leagues. I'm 0-2, and I don't know how because I feel like my squad pretty solid. So I'm not sure like what I can do to better it. But my team is Hurts, Najee, Henderson, Chase, Hill, St. Brown, Knox, Jones, Wilson, and then my bench is Burrow, Carter, Hall, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, and Gerald Everett.
Who was after Knox? You said someone. I thought you said Garrett Wilson over here.
Yes, I know you told me to start Knox.
No. St. Brown, Knox, and then who? You gave me a list of guys.
Oh, Julio Jones.
Oh, Julio. Okay. Yeah, get Wilson in the flex. Put Julio. I mean, Julio's injured right now. So, okay, media, I can tell right now, this is actually a really good team. Okay? You've had Najee take a hit. Hurts is balling out. You're good there. Hendy's tradable. Want to put trades in squares. Hill, don't trade him. Balling out. Chase, don't worry about Jamar Chase. He had 100 yards and a touchdown in week 1. Could have had 2 more touchdowns. He just didn't convert. He'll be fine. St. Brown is a warrior. Knox, I would potentially upgrade Knox. I would potentially... So I wouldn't trade Hurts in this situation. Unless, actually, you got Burrow here. You could take a gamble and put Burrow in your lineup and trade Hurts. I bet you could get a Hendy. First of all, I would maybe trade Hendy or Garrett Wilson with Knox to get Kyle Pitts. That might be my first stop. Okay? Your second stop.
Garrett Wilson and...
Yes. So, dude, do this. Right? Do this. Hendy and Knox for Pitts. You know, or Wilson and Knox for Pitts, and then the other one, whichever one you don't trade, Wilson and Hendy and Hurts for Kamara or Eckler. You could probably get Eckler or Kamara right now for Hurts and Garrett Wilson, or Hurts and Hendy, and you could probably just go do the Pitts trade first, so you have the extra leftover piece. I mean, you also got to go to the teams who lost Dak and Lance and have no good quarterback to determine what they have. So you can't just go to the Hurts owner and he's got Josh Allen. You're like, I was told to give you Hurts for your CMC, but CMC, Kamara, Eckler, go use Hurts, bro. You got Burrow sitting on the bench. I know Hurts is doing great, but have faith in Burrow. Throw him in there. And upgrade something. You've got a good team. Hill, Chase, and St. Brown. You make one of these moves. You get Pitts in there, and you keep Hurts. You just make the Pitts move. You have a championship team here. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would look to maybe trade Najee for Javonte straight up. Najee for Eckler straight up. Maybe use the touchdown in it. But don't sell Najee low. Okay. Don't sell low.
Okay. Yeah, right. No, I felt pretty good about my receivers, so I was like, I probably shouldn't mess with those guys.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for the help.
Later. Bye. Let me get to these super chats real quick. I think I'm behind on them, so let me go back up to the most recent super chat. Scotty Dew says, "You're awesome, man. Let me know when you come to Hawaii. I will. I'll let you buy me a $1,000 pizza pie, because the cost of living over there is insane. But the way you described it didn't sound like it was that crazy. Like you were saying gas was like $4. I'm looking over at mine and it's like $5. You know, pizza pie probably cost you $21. It cost me $25. Maybe the cost of living in Arizona is more than it is over in Hawaii. You know, maybe we need to get on over to Hawaii, get on over to the islands. Maybe I need to revisit the Moke Islands. How many laps do I take? Flacco, bro. Okay, I think I'm caught up on that one. Appreciate you, Alex. Did I ever answer Alex's question here? Traded Javonte, JJ, and Flacco for Burrow, St. Brown, and Najee. Ultimately, again, the fact that you're starting Flacco and there's no options for you. Javonte, JJ, and Flacco for Burrow, St. Brown, and Najee. I'm still going to lean Javonte and JJ, but barely. But barely, bro. So no need to be sad on either side of that because of the Flacco situation. You know, you're actually starting Flacco and you don't have much of an option to do anything different, so I don't blame any decision you make there. flex Hendo, Dotson, or Jamal Williams. Give me Hendo. Actually, because of the emergence of, low yard per carry Cam Akers, who's not overwhelming me by any measure, I'm probably going to go Dotson as a safer play in that situation, though. I would say, rock out. You're live on the show. What can I help you with, my man?
Need some whiteboard treatment.
Whiteboard treatment it is, rock out. Let me just get the super chat on screen. Hold on one second. Joey says, supporting the best fantasy channel out there. I'm going to continue to grow as you deserve. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate your super chat. Appreciate your support. Appreciate Rockouts, raps and all the music he produces on the fly. You're like the new Harry Mack, bro. Do you like Harry Mack, by the way?
Yeah.
You should do like a TikTok channel on your improvised rap, bro. Like, I think people would really get entertained by it. Because the way you do it's hilarious. What can I upgrade? Hurts, Cup, Amari, Swift, Monty, Pitts, Garrett Wilson, Hendo, benches, Dotson, Rashad White, Moore. Hurts, Cup, Amari, Swift, Monty, Pitts, Garrett Wilson. I'm trading Monty and Hendo, Monty and Garrett Wilson, Godwin and Monty. I'm trying to get into an A.J. Dillon. Or I'm trying to get into a Breece Hall using Monty alone, or using Garrett Wilson alone, using Hendy alone. Damian Pierce using one of those guys alone. I just believe in those players, and that gives me a more secure running back. Past that, I really like what you got going on. I like that you have Pitts. I love that you have Cup. Maybe Amari, sell Amari high. Amari and Hendo for Debo. Or wait until the week's over, and if a wide receiver like Debo has a bad game, that's when you come in with Amari. You already know he did well. Amari and Hendo, and you come in and get that wide receiver upgrade. I would say wait, Eduardo. And let that Amari value sit there and simmer, because you have Amari to sell high. All right, rock out. What can I help you with?
Yeah, can I give you my team?
Yeah, let me just drag the rest of these super chats onto the screen here, and then I will help you with the marker board treatment, my man. I think I got two more I got to put on here. Cody King, appreciate you, Cody. I got you on screen here. You guys see your super chats. Scotty, do again. Scotty, I got both your super chats. Just give me a break here. Give me a break. Give me a minute here. Okay. Hit me. Rock out.
All right. Quarterback Kirk Cousins. I lost Lance last week. Running back Swift, Javante, and then wide receiver AJ Brown, McLaurin. And then I picked up Conklin because Schultz got hurt. A-Rob, Zay Jones, Cowboys event. Let's see, Olave, Khalil Herbert, MVS, B-Rob, and Pacheco. I feel I need to flip one of my running backs to get a better wide receiver, like maybe Adams or something.
Yeah. You need to upgrade a tight end. A-Rob, Olave is a good trade piece right now. A-Rob's kind of a good trade piece right now. I don't touch your running backs. I probably don't trade A.J. Brown because he just doesn't have the trade value coming off a bad single game. People are very, very fickle about that kind of thing. I don't know what you can do. Does anybody have two quarterbacks, bro?
Yeah, but he doesn't trade. That's the problem. He keeps it hostage.
He just holds on to double QBs and he's like, no one's going to get them.
He got 3.
He what?
He got 3.
And he won't trade. He won't give you Olave for one of them.
He got Josh Allen. He got Mahomes and Tua.
You can only start one quarterback. Is Josh Allen and Mahomes?
You only can play one quarterback. That's the weird part.
This is a redraft league. He drafted Josh Allen and Mahomes.
Yeah.
So he could ride into second place and not win the, because there's no way he's going to win the league. You can't have that kind of draft capital in those two guys and have a decent team unless he trade into it. You're saying
surprisingly he's 2-0.
Bro, I don't know, because he's not. I don't care how much he wants to get another piece or doesn't want to. He's not trading one of those guys for anything but a big name. So you can't even go out. I can already tell you can't go out. This guy's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that drives you crazy. This is one of the most annoying guys in the league, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I tell you his team?
What's his thing? Oh, his team.
His team is Josh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, his team is Josh Allen, Eckler, CH, Judy, Waddle, Mook, London, Elijah Moore, Bills defense, and Rams kicker. And then he got the Mahomes and Tua.
I don't think he wins the league. He's playing well, but I don't think he wins the league doing what he's doing.
But my main opponent, I think that could win the league. He got Hill and Diggs.
Mm-hmm. All right, bro. I don't know what to tell you on this one, to be honest. I'm stumped because you don't have a lot of firepower at all. Like, you can't sell Swift yet. You got to wait. You can't sell Javonte yet. You got to wait. AJ Brown, you got to wait. You literally have nobody. This isn't. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but you have nobody that you can sell right now and make the team better. You're only going to probably hurt yourself. So, yeah, I like the Harmon says Pierce. I like the idea of getting, like, let me write down the guys that I love to target that might be cheap using like a Olave or something. Like Breece Hall, Pierce, DK, and I know everyone's going to say they don't like DK, but these are three guys that feel very, very cheap that maybe you could give a player for. Like, I don't know if you can trade. God, you have no other running backs. You have literally, it's B-Rob, K-Herbs, and
Singletary, but he doesn't do enough.
Yeah,
much.
I don't know. You got to wait, man. You got to wait. Try and get Hall, Pierce, or DK using Olave, using A-Rob. You know, A-Rob's not bad. I wouldn't sell A-Rob horribly cheap, but if you could use the running back, Pierce could be a difference maker. Hall could be a difference maker. So I would trade A-Rob for either one of these two, Pierce or Hall. I would trade Olave. I might even keep Olave over. I might keep Olave over DK. DK is somebody I would trade for, like B-Rob, or you trade McLaurin and you get DK and something. You know what I mean? Like, maybe somebody will overpay for name. Maybe you try and shop McLaurin for one of these two guys with a player. But A-Rob, I'd trade for either running back because you could use the running backs. They could go into the flex anyway. And then you just wait, bro. You just got to wait. You got to gain value. Work the quarterback waiver wire. Make sure you're picking up anybody that gets dropped.
Would you try to swap McLaurin for Lamb?
I might do that as an upside move for you. You kind of need a home run, bro. You need a home run.
Exactly.
All right, rock out. Appreciate you, man. You got other teams though, so I don't feel too bad for you. You know, you like if this is your only team and you were having a little bit of a moment like the other guy, man, I'd feel more bad for you. But I know you got a lot of other teams that are doing different things. So good job, bro.
I'm like 1-1 and couple 1-on-1s and couple 2-0s.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Later, rock out. Rock out. What's up, Bill? You're live on the show. Hang tight while I get through a couple of these super chats. I work at Papa John's. Pizza is like $20, says Scotty Do. Okay, Scotty Do work pizza $20. So basically, Scotty Do, you confirmed that in Hawaii, the cost of living is cheaper than in Arizona. And here I am feeling bad for you when you're paying $25 a pizza here. I'm paying almost $5 a gallon in gas here. And you're paying $4 a gallon in gas there. Your rent is only $1,200. And that's about what you pay for a one-bedroom here anyway. So this cost of living is not that different. Here I am thinking that Hawaii's the place where your money just dissolves in your pocket. But apparently not. Maybe it's time to move to Hawaii. Javonte, Deontay for Judy, Gibson, and MT. Give me Javonte and Deontay, Cody. This one from Emmanuel says, should I start Garrett Wilson or Clyde? I'd probably start Clyde, but it's very close. It's very arguable. I just like what Clyde's doing right now. He's very involved in the passing game, but that could go either way. I need help at 10-man PPR, 0-2. Just traded McCaffrey and Sanders for Najee and Kamara. I like that trade. I like that trade a lot. And I have Zeke, Singletary, Akers, Schultz, Higbee, Stafford, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, CD, D-Hop. Okay, you have a pretty good team. I'm trading Akers, and I'm coupling him or Zeke. Akers or Zeke, or both of them, for, Schultz and Zeke for Pitts. Akers and Schultz for Pitts, man. I'm going after Pitts all day long. And I go after Higgins, maybe using Zeke in a potential... I like your wide receivers. I trade Zeke and Akers. Try to get into a Dameon Pierce, get into a Breece Hall, get into a Higgins somehow. Nice job. And then Scotty Dew's last super chat, and then I'm going to get to you, Bill. When you come to Hawaii, Smitty, hit me up when you come to Hawaii. You are a cool dude. We'll go to the tiny Moke Islands. Maybe if you get me a helmet and like a life preserver, we can go back onto the Mokes. I'll do that with you, Scotty Dew. Okay, Bill, what can I help you with?
Yeah, Schmitty, I'm in a wide receiver purgatory in one of my paid leagues. I love the rest of my team. But my receivers are god-awful. I've got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Curtis Samuel. Amari Cooper is available. I was going to grab him today before the Thursday night kickoff, but didn't want to burn my number one waiver priority. I do still retain number one waiver priority. With a wide receiver core like I have, would you suggest me using that on Cooper next week?
Amari Cooper?
Yeah, I know it's a long shot, but I mean he's getting the targets and he's put up 2 decent games, and I can't roll with these 3 wide receivers. I did have Palmer, but I dropped him. So I was just wondering what you thought of Cooper long term with Brissett. I mean, obviously he looked better the last 2 weeks than they did in week 1, but I didn't know if you'd like that veteran upside or if you would hold on that number 1 ranking and hope down the line it pays bigger dividends.
It's tough, man. You walk a fine line when you push off to the next week and then you don't have, every week we get deeper in, the likelihood of the win a league player is less likely, but that doesn't mean one injury couldn't turn that, into a Cinderella story for a guy like, Khalil Herbert, that's sitting out there, and then Monty goes down, and now Khalil Herbert's a top 10 running back because he's capable of it. Or Rashad White if
I already own him. Yeah. No, I had the to the moon guys. Are you feeling more comfortable week 3 starting Breece now that we saw him catch a touchdown pass last week? Or are you still hesitant because it's Cincy and it's still a timeshare, or is it time to fire him up in week 3?
It depends on your options, but in general, I am firing them up, but like, who do you have that you're considering?
Well, I'm flexing like Breece Hall. Right now I have Breece Hall at running back 2, and I'm flexing Garrett Wilson perhaps, but I still have options on my bench that I still like. AJ Green, the kid from Green Bay, Williams.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how you felt on Breece.
I think Breece and Garrett are very, very close. I think if you're in wide receiver purgatory, you drop your fab or your waiver wire priority on Cooper. I mean, look, Cooper, as much as like he's disappointing here and there when he moves around teams, he's scoring. He looks good. He's the wide receiver 1 there. That's probably you're probably taking more of a gamble not grabbing Cooper than you are waiting for that one win a league player that you happens to be there when you don't spend the pick. So I definitely grab.
There's not many 94% roster wide receivers out there, Smitty. The other guys are like 50, 40. It's a 12-man league, so those guys don't come on. I wish I would have got him for free before the Thursday night game, but I picked up Dak because he got dropped because I got Herbert, and I wanted some insurance for Herbert in case he doesn't look right with his rib injury, so I got Dak just as insurance. But I was like, man, I should have got Coop, and then of course he blows up.
Yeah,
like,
Rhino's got a good point. You know, the fact that Cooper's the reason I'm waiting for you to finish your story before I come in and tell you to grab Cooper is I feel like can you read off the top guys on the waiver wire? Because I wonder I wonder.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, 1 second, Shmi. Let me grab it. It's pretty slim pickings.
Well, yeah,
talking,
but Cooper's out there, so how could it be that slim pickings? You know what I mean? Like, how could Cooper slip by? So that just makes me wonder if there's a lot of players out there. Like, I've had people tell me that before, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's there. What are you doing? Grab him. So go ahead.
Right. No, I'm looking right now, Shmi. I'm pulling it up. But yeah, it's a pretty competitive 12-man. So according to this, the best three options at wide receiver right now available are Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, and Russell Gage. So
running backs,
obviously Nico Collins is available, Corey Davis is available. It's all the usual suspects.
Running backs.
Running backs available are Darrell Williams, Jarrett McKinnon, and Rex Burkhead. I mean, the rest of my team is nice. I got Josh Allen. I've got, I've got Justin Herbert, Damian Harris, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Reese Hall.
All right, Bill.
Bill Herbert.
Yeah,
Stevenson.
I got you, Bill. I'm going to jump to the next call. Go get Amari Cooper. You got
Thanks,
this.
bro.
That's a good situation that you're in, and your team's good. Go get him. Oh, he just hangs up. Bill, I appreciate you. Bill, you didn't have to swan dive off of the. Bill, I'm going to jump to the next. Bill, let me give you a proper goodbye. Bill, appreciate you calling. Bill, you're the man. You didn't need to swan dive out of here head first. Next time you can back out slowly. Just literally jumped out. Yeah, Scotty Duke calling from Hawaii. What's up, my man?
Yeah, you ready or what?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm ready. Go. What am I doing here?
I got it. Okay, I got two questions for you. Chris Olave, I got Michael Thomas, and Chris Olave is on the free agency. The lowest guy on my totem pole on my bench would be Alexander Madison, but my running backs, I do have Eckler, Javonte, Dylan, Jeff Wilson, Kenneth Walker, and Brian Robinson on my IR. Do I drop Madison and go grab Olave because I have Thomas?
Drop Madison and go get Olave. I'm sorry, did you say you had Dalvin Cook?
No, I don't.
I mean, it's tough because if Cook goes down, Alexander Madison wins league. So of course I like Olave more than Madison right now because Olave can help you. But I mean, it's a risk. It's a risk. Like, do you have anybody else worse that you can cut? Sometimes people tell me this and they're holding a second kicker or they're holding a second defense and they're like, well, I like the defense. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I don't roll like that. The bottom person on my bench is Madison, but I mean, I do feel comfortable with my running backs. I have Eckler, Javonte, Dylan, Jeff Wilson, Walker, and Brian Robinson. I'm waiting for him to come back. So I understand what you're saying. Alexander Madison could be a league winner if Dalvin Cook goes down, but I do have Thomas, so I'm trying to anchor that together, just in case something happens. Olave looks like he's the number one. Thomas, I'm not too sure. I'm kind of confused. I just want to get your opinion on that.
I mean, it's like I like Olave a lot. He can help you now. You are running the risk of dropping Kamara. You're running the risk of leaving Olave out there, and you're waiting on Alexander Madison, and it never comes. The call never comes. So I wish I could give you a hardcore answer. There just isn't. When you're forced to make one decision or the other, there's no guarantees. But if you can use Olave right now, then it's probably better to have Olave on your roster than Madison and just monitor the situation. But I mean, that's all I can tell you because Madison's a league winner, like he is. But Olave can help you, maintain wins, I guess. So you got to make that call.
Because I have Michael Thomas, I wouldn't really play Olave because in my flex I have Cooks, Dylan.
Buddy, you could then you could trade him, or you just hang on to Madison. Like I don't blame you for not wanting to pick up a guy you don't think could play. So I'm okay with if you're gonna. The thing is, if MT goes down, Olave goes nuts. So it's kind of like a cuffing
That's it.
situation too, to MT.
Right, and I think, in your opinion, I think my running back strength is pretty good to afford to drop Madison.
Yeah, again, if Cook goes down, you're going to wish you had him, but at the same time, again, you could wait for that call all year long. Maybe Olave's better trade bait for you. And again, if MT goes down, he's very injury prone, then Olave has a really good year. Not that he can't have a really good year anyway, but he would have a really good year.
Okay, second question. My boy Gustavo has Derrick Henry. What do you think I could trade for him? Maybe the commissioner might not veto that.
What can you get to get Henry? What can you give?
Yeah, to my boy. You want to write down the team real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take too long.
Go ahead. My brain's fried, but it's all right.
Okay, I got Josh Allen as the quarterback. I got Thomas, Sutton, Eckler, Javonte, Pitts, Cooks, Dillon, Wilson, Walker, Godwin, Madison, and B-Rob.
That's Garrett Wilson?
No, Wilson, Jeff Wilson on my bench.
I like Cook over Henry, to be honest, right now. Wait, you have Dalvin Cook, you said? Or that Cooks?
Cooks. Brandon Cooks in my flex currently over Dillon because it's a PPR.
So you need Madison. Okay, I got you. My brain's fried, bro.
It's okay. Long day.
T. Sutton, Javonte, Dillon. So Javonte,
Dillon, Jeff,
Javonte,
Walker,
Dillon, running backs,
Godwin.
tight end, wide receivers. I don't know. I don't know that Henry's a good fit for your team, man. Would I take the chance on Dillon and like a Garrett Wilson or Dillon and Sutton for Henry? Like, sure, and then trade him before double-digit weeks if he's going nuts or something like that. Like, would I do that? I suppose, but I think because you have Pitts, you have Josh Allen, you have MT, you have Javonte. I'd rather you just go in a safer direction than to go messing around with Henry when he's looking like such a void. So, like, why not go? And I know you want to trade with your boy because he's trading right now and your other people aren't. So, like, what other players does he have? And I don't want to screw Gustavo over because he's now a boy. He's now, a boy of the show. Yeah. So it's like I got to make an even Steven.
To put Eckler. I also have Eckler, man.
You have Eckler on this team?
Yes, sir.
Did you say that?
Yes, I have Michael Thomas, Sutton, Javonte, Eckler, Pitts, Cooks, Dillon, Wilson, Michael Thomas.
I missed when you said Eckler.
Yeah, Eckler.
Okay, so yeah,
Eckler and Javonte.
Yeah, you don't need Henry. Don't do that. Trade Dillon. If you're gonna trade someone, trade Dillon and Cooks for one better, like a Kamara.
He's got Cooper. He's got Amari Cooper. He's trying to trade Cooper.
I mean, I like Cooper, but I don't know that you need him. You got Sutton and MT, and he's just another one of those guys. I'd rather you trade Garrett Wilson, and I've got two Dillons on here. Garrett Wilson and
that's Jeff Wilson, brother. I don't got Garrett. I got Jeff.
Okay.
My name is Jeff.
Jeff, sorry. I don't know, bro. Sutton and Dillon for one better play. Go get a Kamara. Go get a Kamara. Go get a Kamara. Go get a CMC. Go get a player like that using a combination of Sutton, Dillon, Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson's been getting a lot in the trade, man. For some reason, people are just like, he's the starter now. And you trade Jeff Wilson, and I'd go get Breece Hall. Trade Jeff Wilson for Breece Hall, and then if you got to throw in something, start working.
My other buddy has Breece Hall.
Working.
My other buddy has. He might trade him.
Yeah. I just don't go after Henry. You don't need to do it. Your team's fire. Like, why go after Henry? What are you going to give anyway? Like, you're going to Dillon and Cooks for Henry, I suppose. I'd do that. But he's not going to do that. I think I'd take Dillon and Cooks. You don't want to do that.
He's listening right now.
You don't want to do that to Gustavo.
No. I just thought I'd see what's up.
Yeah.
He's gonna call in. He said he was gonna call in right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gustavo. Call in. I mean, we could try and work a deal that works best for both of you, but I think your team's great, bro. I don't think you need to do anything crazy. Like if I'm you, I would trade like MT and Sutton for MT and
Javonte Adams.
Yeah, I mean Javonte, sure. Yeah, I would go light at wide. I mean, you'd have light wide receivers, but I'd rather trade Cooks. Yeah, I'd take Adams in a heartbeat. I'd take Adams. I'd take Debo.
Are you worried about Jameis Winston's back?
Yeah, I'm worried about it. It's like broken back, bro. Of course I'm worried about it. I'm as worried about that as going back to the Moke Islands. What's up, Gustavo?
What's up, Smitty?
Guys, the bros are back again, bro.
So I'm playing. The boys are back. I'm playing this guy. He's the number 1 in our league. This is the only league I'm playing. It's a pay league. I have Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Lambs, Edwards-Helaire, Henry, Knox, Cooper, and that's it. That's the guys that are playing.
Yeah, I'm trying to retain all that. My brain's fried, bro. Real quickly, tell me your team.
Okay, I'll tell you my team.
Give him the whiteboard, Smitty. Give him the whiteboard.
Russell Wilson, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb,
Hold on. Wilson. Go ahead.
Tyreek Hill, Lambs, Edwards-Helaire, Henry, Knox, Cooper, and then on my bench I have Wentz, Juju Smith-Schuster, Judy, Jr., Pierce, and Schultz.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, gentlemen. You've got Henry, you've got CEH, you've got Pierce. I'm gonna say Pierce is a really good trade for. Well, actually, you've got Eckler. You guys are already pretty balanced.
This is the best fantasy football show experience I've ever had in my life.
Thank you, appreciate that. Sutton and Pierce. These are a good match if you guys were wanting to swap players. Did you say you have Javonte on your team, Scotty?
Yeah, that's correct. The teams are correct, left to right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Sutton and Pierce are a good swap for you guys. I think Sutton and CEH or MT and CEH, or I probably like MT a little bit more. But like if you wanted a running back, if you were wanting to trade are you wanting to trade Henry to him, Gustavo? Are you trying to force me to make a deal here?
No, I honestly have a mixed feeling because I spent my first round pick on him. I was number 2 overall, and I got Henry, and it just hasn't been what I was hoping from him. But I'm just trying to make so I traded him because I don't know, I don't believe in Kyle Pitts. I know I had Kyle Pitts, and I traded him Kyle Pitts, and he gave me Russell Wilson for Schultz.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think Henry's gonna do good in the coming weeks. That's what
Yeah, I mean,
like if
you guys were going to swap Henry, I would say in order for Gustavo to get a fair deal, he'd have to get Dylan. So Henry, Dylan, and he'd probably have to get something along the lines of MT and maybe even like a Sutton or something. It'd have to be a massive deal. But then I would say to Gustavo, if Gustavo had that, I'd say, Gustavo, I don't know that you need that much depth. I would probably make a move similar to where you're giving up a Cooper and a potential CEH for Cooper and CEH for like a Debo or someone of that caliber. Either way, I don't think you guys make trades with each other. I don't see it. First of all, I don't want to mess with the other's team because now I like both of you. But I would say I don't know, broskies. Go try and get a Debo. Go try and get a Adams. Go try and get a Kamara. Go try and get. I think you guys need to go elsewhere. I don't think you guys battle each other out on this one. I don't think you guys have similar teams. I don't see anything that makes sense.
And Smitty, I have one more question. The guy that I'm playing has Joe Burrow, Cooper Kupp, Waddle, Swift, Montgomery, Kelsey.
It's a good team.
And then he has Wilson.
So your
He's projecting to beat me. But do you think Tyreek Hill has a massive game this week again?
I mean, he could. I think I'm going to be honest. You're asking me for my honesty. That team you just named is probably the leading candidate, to win the league.
Okay.
Henry has to be who you want him to be for you to compete with that team. If Henry is, then you will. If Pierce and Henry become who you think they can become, then you will compete. If not, that team's going to be absolute straight fire. I think Scotty dropped off. Scotty's team, he needs Javonte, Pitts, and Eckler to all play at the high level to compete with that team. But both of you have a shot. All right, I got to jump. I got to answer these super chats, and then I got to go. I might go live on Rumble here.
Right,
I might go live on Rumble here for a minute. I actually might. You guys follow me on Rumble?
Yes.
Okay, I might go live on Rumble right after this. Because we got 230 people. I could send them on over to Rumble. So look for that in a second. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna leave the phone line open for Rumble. So let's finish this up. Ron Navy says, "Damn, I fell asleep and I woke up and you're still on, Smitty." Yeah, it's 2 hours and 41 minutes. That's good. It's 1:14 my time. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Eric, my mom. You gotta hear my mom whenever. What's your son do for a living? He's on the tube, and I don't know. He does something with the football and the photography. I don't really know exactly what it is, but I don't know what he's gonna do if the NFL closes. It's like he won't. What is he? He's up at night, up late doing the tube. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what he does. Smitty seeking your expert analysis. Josh Allen, JT, Chubb, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, A-Rob, Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson. My brain is fried. Breece Hall, Jeff Wilson, Hawkinson. How am I going to do a Rumble stream? I think I got to, though. I got to try it. Smitty seeking your expert advice. Okay, so Josh Allen, JT, Chubb, love it. Aaron Jones, love it. Mike Evans, he's sitting out, but you good team. A-Rob, this is a good team. I would trade Jacobs and Curtis Samuel for you got Breece Hall, for a Dameon Pierce. Get an extra running back into that mix. Curtis Samuel and Jacobs for Dameon Pierce. Curtis Samuel and Jacobs for a Higgins. Who's your tight end? Hawkinson. Go get Kyle Pitts. I mean, this is some of the same names. Kyle Pitts using Curtis Samuel and Jacobs. I'd trade all three of them. Hawkinson, Curtis Samuel, and Jacobs all for Kyle Pitts because you have the depth to do it. You have depth for days. It's like, why not use it? You got Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson on the bench. Why not trade Curtis Samuel? Oh, you're asking me, your trade Samuel for Jacobs. I'm sorry, you got Jacobs down there. All that applies with the Garrett Wilson, the Curtis Samuel, the Jeff Wilson. Trade Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel and Hawkinson for Pitts. Do that. Curtis Samuel for Jacobs, I don't know. Probably not. I don't really like Jacobs. It's an okay trade if you need a running back. You don't need a running back. I feel like Curtis Samuel might even have better trade value right now. People love him. I'm trading Samuel and Jeff Wilson to get a Dameon Pierce. I'm trading Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel for maybe you trade Mike Evans up into a Debo or an Adams somehow. You got a good team, though. Don't worry about it. A-Rob and Jeff Wilson for Higgins. I like that. There's a couple ideas for you, broski. Colin says, Smitty, I just ordered a call but I don't know how this works. Do I call or wait on a call? Well, call it. I have been live the whole time. Do you mind if I call you right now on the show? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me see. He ordered a call. Let's see here. I'm gonna email you. Email me back with your number. Can I call you live? Okay, I sent you an email right now. Then we're gonna go live on Rumble because that's how we roll. Colin, I appreciate you. And guys, stop arguing in the chat about whatever you're arguing about, Bill or something. I'm not talking about Bill Belichick or whatever, but it's like enough is enough. Stop it. Opinions on this trade: Chase, Bateman, and David Montgomery for JT and CD. Give me JT and CD. Pretty easy, to be honest. I like Bateman. David Montgomery's okay. Jamar Chase, love him, but JT's higher. CD, you know, I think the JT over Chase is a big enough margin that CD's not a big drop off as that is as Bateman and DeMonte. So give me the JT and CD, and then I shop CD. I don't really stop there. I probably shop CD Lamb a little bit and try and get in something a little bit safer. Guys, be nice. Stop dropping the clown emojis at each other and calling each other names. That's not the way we roll in the chat. Our chat is a positive chat, and you will be removed if you continue to go at each other in a negative fashion. We don't roll like that here. Did I get to this one? I need 10-man. Oh, I just traded McCaffrey and Sanders. Yeah, I got to that one. Okay, I think I'm caught up on all the super chats. I'm just waiting for this email back from my boy who ordered a phone call. I would like to call him live on the show and kill two birds with one stone. Plus, we could get group think out here, and then we're going on Rumble live. But yes, please stop fighting in the chat, or I will put you in timeout. And then if you continue to do it, then you will be removed. We do not tolerate constant bickering in the chat at each other. We are a family. Okay, start acting like it. We are a family. Start two in the flex PPR: Garrett Wilson, Olave, Breece Hall, Etienne Stevenson. Steven, I'm probably gonna roll with Breece Hall. I don't know why. I have a little bit of a feeling in Garrett Wilson or Olave. You choose between Garrett Wilson and Olave. They're pretty close for me. I put Etienne on the bench until we see him do something. But I wouldn't be opposed to Breece Hall and Etienne if you want to roll the dice. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Okay, email me back. Okay, call now. Here we go. We're doing it live. We're going to make this guy order a phone call. We're going to dial him up. What's up, my man? I appreciate you ordering a phone call. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. We're going to give you the big time treatment.
Thank you. I just wanted some advice on my team. See if you could give me some advice on moves I can make. I have Lamar and CMC. I have Lamar, CMC, Fournette, Mike Williams, Diggs.
Hold on 1 second. Let me write this on the board. Go ahead again. Lamar,
CMC, Fournette. The wide receiver, I have Mike Williams and Diggs. Tight end, I got Logan Thomas. And my flex is Brandon Cooks, Jeff Wilson, and Michael Pittman. On my bench, I have
hold on a second.
Khalil Herbert.
Hold on 1 second.
Kenneth Walker,
Pittman,
Chris Godwin, and Elijah Moore.
Hold on 1 second.
My
Yeah.
Too fast.
Yeah, Lamar, CMC, Fournette, Mike Williams, Diggs, and then you listed a bunch of other players, and then Pittman.
So I have Logan Thomas at tight end. And we start 3 flex. Brandon Cooks, Jeff Wilson, and Michael Pittman. And on my bench, I have Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, Kenneth Walker, Chris Godwin, Curtis Samuel, and Elijah Moore. And I have Elijah Mitchell on IR.
Okay. So here's your team. You were listing Pittman. I thought you were benching Pittman or something. Pittman's your third wide receiver over Cooks and okay. So, I mean, I like Diggs, Pittman, and Mike Williams. That's a really strong trio of wide receivers. Your flex, make sure you. I don't know. Did you say you had Jordan Mason?
No, I have Jeff Wilson, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Pittman in my flex.
Yeah, but do you have Jordan Mason on your team?
No, I don't.
That might be a good move. See if he's available and who's your worst player? Your worst two players?
Probably Curtis Samuel and Khalil Herbert. I have on my bench. I have Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, Kenneth Walker, Chris Godwin, Curtis Samuel, and Elijah Moore. And I have Elijah Mitchell on IR.
Yeah, I don't know who you would cut. I suppose Elijah Moore. I hate cutting Elijah Moore, but I definitely would. I definitely would grab Jordan Mason and cuff him to Wilson, because if this is your Jeff Wilson's your starting flex player, you need to make sure you cuff him to Jordan Mason, because that is a potential, 8 or 9 starts or 7 or 8 starts in a row between the two of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking about trading Jeff Wilson and Chris Godwin for another player.
Yeah, I'd definitely do that. And then I would just pick up Jordan Mason anyway. So Godwin and Wilson, Jeff Wilson and Godwin for Dameon Pierce, Breece Hall, T. Higgins, A.J. Brown. You don't have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. We're getting a little high at that point to where I don't know if you can get anything past that. But Higgins, A.J. Brown, Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Kyle Pitts. I'd trade Godwin or Wilson with Logan Thomas for Kyle Pitts in a heartbeat. I keep Kenneth Walker because he's just sitting on the bench waiting. You can't get anything for him anyway. Diggs, Pittman, Williams is great. Fournette and Godwin. Fournette and Cooks. Fournette and Curtis Samuel. Fournette and trade Fournette and Godwin. Fournette and Jeff Wilson. Any combination of that for probably a slight upgrade at running back. What would be a slight upgrade? I mean, if you could maybe get a Kamara right now or a Mixon using Fournette, especially if you do wait and Fournette has a big day, as he's one of the only options for Brady on Sunday. He could really be overfed, and if he escapes injury in that game, which worries the heck out of me, you might have a lot of value on your hands to trade, and especially if like Kamara doesn't play well his first game back, and his owner's like, what in the heck is going on here? Let's say CMC has a bad day. Let's say Mixon has a bad day again. Probably one of those guys, Cook, one of those 4 guys should have a bad day. I imagine you could swoop in and trade a Fournette and a Godwin for that player. So this might be a move you make next week. I don't know. I would still try to make a move for sure.
Okay. All right. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, but Pitts, go after Pitts now. Go after Pitts now. You might be able to do these trades we're talking about and get Kyle Pitts. If you got a Kamara or a CMC or something like that in place of Fournette, because Fournette pops off this week, and you get that deal done later with a Godwin and Fournette. If you can trade a Jeff Wilson and and Logan Thomas for Pitts, I mean, your team would be completely transformed into a monster. Make sure Rachaad White isn't available on waivers. If you don't pull off any deals, I would get Rachaad White to cuff to Fournette, and I would get Jordan Mason to cuff to Jeff Wilson, so that you're completely covered, and it helps you with trades. Because if you got those,
Jordan Mason is on the waivers, but I think Rachaad White is already on another.
Okay. But Curtis, don't be afraid to use Curtis Samuel as well. Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuel for Pitts, Godwin and Logan Thomas for Pitts, Cooks and Logan Thomas for Pitts, Jeff Wilson and Logan Thomas for Pitts. I'd send all of those offers, or talk to him and let him know he has all those options, and then start going after Fournette for any of the buy low guys from Cook to Mixon to
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think Mixon is available.
CMC.
He's on a Bengals fan team, and he has Burrow, Mixon, and Chase. And
Yeah. I mean,
letting those guys.
yeah, Cook, Kamara, CMC using Fournette and Godwin and Cooks. You know, you got throwing all three. Cooks, Godwin, and Fournette for like a CMC and take that gamble.
I have CMC on my roster.
I'm sorry. So Kamara and Cook. You know,
do Fournette, Godwin, and Cooks for Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, a boy can dream. A boy can dream. Sometimes dreams come true, young man. So, you know, try for it.
Jonathan Taylor owner is currently 0-2.
Yeah.
So maybe
I mean,
I'll try that.
I would give up Mike Williams and Fournette for JT. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, I'll try that.
Like if he gets a little bit, if he's got his head on straight and he's like, no, you know, maybe you trade Mike Williams, Fournette, and Jeff Wilson for JT.
Okay, I'll try that.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you ordering the call, the super chats, all your support.
I appreciate you taking the time out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, my man.
All right, man.
Bye.
Enjoy your night.
You too. Nice dude. Scotty Do says, where is when's Walker gonna break out? I don't know, Scotty Do. I'm hoping here in the next couple weeks. Appreciate your super chat, by the way. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks. Porter, appreciate you, Porter. You're the man, ordering a call, dropping a super chat. We're going over to Rumble right this second. I have 224 eyeballs. I only have 159 thumbs up, which is kind of shocking because we've had like 300 people in here. And it helps you. Let me help you by you helping me. Help me help you. Hit the thumb up button. And let's get on over to Rumble, shall we? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a live stream. Hold on one second. Bear with me. So I'm going to go in here, live stream. We're going to drop a live right on Rumble right now. I don't know how long we're going to go on Rumble, but we'll go on Rumble for just a little bit. Let me just set up a live. What are we talking about? Week 3 fantasy football Q question. Ask Smitty. Okay, so let me drop this in here. Week 3 fantasy football. Week 3. Okay. We are going live on Rumble in T-minus, I would say T-minus 1 minute. Going live on Rumble. The link is right here. Let me get it for you. Right here. Here's the link. Go to Rumble. This is my Rumble page. Pinning it right now. We're going live on Rumble right this second. What is Rumble? It's the YouTube competitor. And so we're going to go live on Rumble and we're going to do a Q&A. The thing is, there's going to be so many less people in there. I'm challenging you. There's 269 of you watching right now. I dropped the link and I pinned it. My Rumble stream is right there. It is live. Yes. It is live. Rush. I pinned the Rumble link in the live chat. I'm challenging all 274 of you right now, first of all, to hit the thumb up button on your way out the door. But I'm challenging all 274 of you to go to the link that I've just pinned and wait for me to go live. I'm going to be live in T-minus 1 minute, and we will do it. Going right now. See you on Rumble. Link is in the chat. Go now.